WLTC HD2 Casita and W221 DP Columbus. This is Sportsvisions 92.1. You are listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good Friday morning and welcome everybody to another edition of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. I am Walter and Betty Jones's baby boy, Daryl DJ Jones. This is Lindley and Morgan's dad. We call him the Swiss Army knife. Good morning, Richard Holdridge.
Good morning, DJ. Man, I cannot believe it is Friday, and I know that after this show, we're headed 5 minutes down the road from Muskogee County Football Media Day.
You're all slicked up. I see you got the nice mousse on your hair. You got the part on the side. You're ready for some action.
I packed the car early this morning. I got everything ready because after this show, we are hightailing it over to the Muskogee County Educational Board office, where they're going to have Muskogee County Media Day at 10 o'clock. Georgia Alabama Sports Live is going to be streaming it.
Now, when you say you packed the car, now some people out there saying, what, he's got donuts, coffee? What does he got?
Equipment. I got my equipment.
Break it down. What kind of equipment? There's folks listening out there. That's what I'm saying.
I got a small generator. It's called a Jackery. I got my headphones, my wireless mics, my laptop, just
you production folks, man, I tell you.
Stuff that I have for my notes.
And I want the Sportsvisions Nation to know that, that's the kind of stuff that you have to travel with. You say, pack in my car. Well, they might say, well, he's got his lunch. He's got breakfast. He's got donuts and coffee. No, you got some equipment that that's going to be necessary in order for you to be able to, of course, stream and show the folks throughout the Chattahoochee Valley, throughout the world, what's going on.
Yeah, I got a plan in place. I've studied up on the 8 Muskogee County teams. I am excited, especially talking to the 3 brand new coaches. Got Bryson Freeman over there at Northside, Chad Martin over at Jordan, and Reginald Wedner at Hardaway.
All right, Richard. All right. Looking forward to you leading the way, leading the charge for the local media here in Muskogee County. We are so proud that you're able to do that. Hey, look, good morning. Ricky Rogers is the first one out of the gate. Man, he and Bobby Brown. Hey, them guys, they don't play around. They don't play. They want their seats, man. They want their seats, and they know that they get that first-class service, that valet service. We bring them their food. We bring them their nice hors d'oeuvres and all the nice cold beverages that they like in the front row of the Sportsvision Morning Show, early in the morning.
Yeah, Ricky and Bobby, guess what? You got the first 2 seats of the front row. Now we're just rating on Rodney, Gerald, Ralph, Johnny. We have the whole crew coming in a couple.
But you know what? It's the last day of July, and of course, the summer is closing out. So, do you think that those guys or some of our listeners might be taking this opportunity to head for the beach for the last time?
Possibly. It is Friday, but hey, if you are headed to the beach, you could still listen to the Sportsvisions radio app.
Yeah.
No, but we appreciate all the listeners out there that listen to us. However you listen to us, whether it's on Facebook, on YouTube, or if you catch the replay on Apple and Spotify, and I try to get those shows up. That's pretty cool too, because you can listen to the show commercial free, and you could just download the app on your smartphone, and there's no interruptions. So, I know
that's pretty cool.
Internet service sometimes can interrupt the show.
Yeah.
But if you download it on your smartphone, because usually when you download an Apple podcast, the podcast itself will download to your phone, and you can listen to it even if your cell phone service is kind of spotty.
That's good. That's good. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and say hello to everybody out there in Facebook land as well as YouTube. We appreciate the fact that you allow us to help you get your day started. I tell you, man, Richard, we wouldn't have it any other way. The only live and local sports talk show in East Alabama and West Central Georgia. We bring you your kids, your teams, your schools from your community.
Yeah, DJ, this is it. You're not going to get it anywhere else. We go through the box score, and especially with high school football, college football, and the NFL just around the corner. How crazy are those Monday shows going to be after recapping the Falcons, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, and then all the high schools in the area on Friday nights? And I know that's a lot of teams to cover, but we have got you covered, and that's why we love doing what we do, because we like giving you all the score updates and showcasing those student athletes here in this area.
Absolutely. We're incredibly excited. We're super excited, as some might say. The fact that we do get to sit down with not only the high school football coaches and the players, we got flag football that'll be a part of this media day as well.
I'm so excited about that. I mean, I'm really excited to talk to the Carver flag football coach. I believe her name is Coach Brandy Bowie. They play Central this year. DJ, we got Carver Central in flag football. I'm so excited about that.
I am excited. At the same time, I'm worried. I'm worried because we do have a national champion in the Central Red Devils. And again, I'm not an advocate of getting, high scoring blowouts. And again, I'm not saying that Carver won't be competitive, but again, we got a national champion, a proven champion. And have you kept up with Carver's team over the years?
Yes, they made the playoffs last year.
Okay.
Should have beat Gainesville. There was a player that got ejected last year. They were leading. Right. They were leading 7-0 in that game against Gainesville.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they ended up losing. But they had a very special season. I mean, Cam Bass, one of their top players.
Yeah.
I mean, she was an incredible quarterback, a tremendous athlete. I know that Coach Bowie is going to have a squad that's going to be coming back, and I can't wait to see Carver flag football.
Now, the other side of that is that if Carver's able to punch the national champion in the mouth, man, that's going to be early attention. And again, now everybody's going to wonder, okay, is this a team that we should be watching? So, yeah, I think I like that challenge. I like Carver having the opportunity to play a team with national prominence, a team that has a state championship, because again, they have nothing to lose. They're playing with house money.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to talking to Coach Christian Greer, as they got one of the top flag football players in this area, Harmony Franklin, coming back. I tell you, I do my research on flag football as well. So, when they said that flag football is going to be included in this media day, I said, let's go. I know about these teams, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to be prepared for flag football as well.
Did you share who Coach Greer coached for?
Oh, yeah. I thought people knew. Oh, no, he is the head. He is the head flag football coach of Columbus.
Yes,
the team that they went to the semifinals last year. 2 years ago, they were in the bins playing in the flag football state championship against Southeast Bullock.
Yes,
they've had Allie Lofton. They've had Harmony Franklin, obviously. They've had some great flag football players over the years.
And the great thing about it is that they were the prominent flag football team before Central even came on the scene.
Yeah, 2019. And Serenity Hickman was another player I was thinking about as I drew a blank. Yeah, 2019, when flag football really came into existence, Columbus was that first flag football team that really set the standard. And now this sport has grown like wildfire. We see Glenwood now has a team. Calvary now has a team. Chaco now has a team. As we're going through the fall schedule, we're like, man, we get to call like a Glenwood Calvary flag football game, and this is like both having inaugural seasons this year, which is incredible.
All right, now it's time to put that foot in the ground and pivot and go the other way. Big shout out to the Columbus Clinkstones. Man, they had a big, a boat race with victory over the Rocket City Trash Bandits. Of course, is it Trash Bandits or Pandas?
Trash Pandas.
Trash Pandas, but Carson Taylor, Jordan Groshams, and Adam Zimbrowski all hit home runs.
Yeah, and I love seeing the big bats coming out, and the fans love seeing it too, because when you come to the ballpark, you're a casual baseball fan. You want to see the long ball. 11-3. What a game so far! They have taken 2 out of 3 against the Trash Pandas. Got 3 more. Of course, we expect a big crowd tonight because it is Friday night.
Yes.
Tomorrow, to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of historic Golden Park, Georgia Alabama Sports Live is going to be there for a pregame show. I can't wait to be a part of the festivities. So many memories of historic Golden Park. And I know mine are recent, but I know that we all have our memories of historic Golden Park, and it's an opportunity to share them.
Now, I have the $64,000 question to ask of you, Richard, on this 100-year celebration. Will you be all decked out in your dress blues?
I will not, because I am, by military regulation, I am no longer in the Georgia Army National Guard.
Well, you still got the uniform, right? They didn't take that back, did they?
I still got the uniform. It's hanging in my closet. It's just a constant reminder of my military service. I still have all the ribbons on my dress blues. And by the way, in the military, those dress blues are phasing out next year.
Really? What are they going to?
They're going to the uniform is called pink and greens.
Pink and green.
Yeah, it's a green uniform.
Our military is going to pink and green. They have a deal with the AKAs or what?
Yeah, I don't anybody that's our military audience, they know the military slang, pink and greens. But they basically
we don't know it. I don't.
It's a green uniform, but
I'm talking about the pink.
It's got the pink trim on it.
Really?
And so like the
bow tie.
Yeah, no, I don't know about the bow tie, but the rank and all is like a pink trim, so they nickname it pink and green.
That's new. I never heard of that. I mean, again, I've been born and raised in a military town and never heard of the pink and greens. That's something new, or that's something
it's a brand new uniform.
Brand new.
They put out.
I tell you what, though, it's kind of like those old jerseys in, from back in the day when, you played at Georgia, played in Green Bay, played in Denver. I might try those, just throw them on every now and then, just walk around the house and, but again, wearing them out in public, I guess that's not too cool.
Yeah, those alternate uniforms, which I love. I mean, because it's great marketing. Especially like when the Clean Stones bring out their all peach uniforms.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool as well. And, Major League Baseball teams started doing this in the late 90s. You remember those traditional home and gray?
Yeah.
And that is it. And then you saw like the Braves would have their all reds or their all blues.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, actually, that looks pretty cool. And really, traditional teams like the Yankees, I would love to see them wear like all navy blue Yankees home jerseys, but they're traditional, so they have nothing but the pinstripes.
Yeah. Black uniforms too are popular, obviously, in all sports. All black, and that you see that across the board. Also, big shout out to the Atlanta Braves. They were victorious at Truist Park. Ronald Acuna and Mike Yastrzemski had home runs in that 5-4 victory, and it was good to see that the Braves were able to get their 64th victory of the season.
Yeah, and Raisel Iglesias picking up his 23rd save, and guess what? They now have a 7-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. How about that? And then they got the Nationals for 3 more games. They're going to be at home taking on the Miami Marlins, and then next Friday, August the 7th, they're going to end up playing the Yankees up in Yankee Stadium.
Boy, I'm telling you what, I'm really excited. Ronald Acuna is back. Looked like he's getting into his rare form here. Had a home run, and again, this is I think his second game back.
Yeah.
No ill effects from his hamstring injury. And I tell you, man, if he finishes strong, if he lights on fire, man, obviously it's Katie barred the door. The Braves will close out and win the National League East without any worries for being considered as a wild card team.
And DJ, there's one player I'm concerned. Hopefully he gets it going. Austin Riley.
Yeah.
He's only batting .212, but that batting average is going to go up. I mean, he's a type of player that can hit for power. He's got 12 home runs and 50 runs batted in. If he starts getting hot, who knows? The Braves could just run away with this division and might even try to battle. I don't know. The Dodgers right now, it looks like they're going to get the 1 seed, but if they get the 3 seed, win the division, they'll get to host that first home playoff game, and which it's a different format because all the games would be at Truist Park, but it's a best of 3. But that would give them some momentum if they have to face either the Brewers or the Dodgers in the divisional round.
How about our all-star second baseman, Ozzie Albies? Man?
Oh, he's great.
He's playing through the roof. He's got to be playing Moneyball right now because, again, his contract is coming up.
Get him a new contract.
And, you're talking about a guy that's making roughly around $7 million, and he's been in the league 7, 8, 9 years, and he's been with the Braves the whole time. And, easily his position, the all-stars at his position make 3 times as much as he's making right now.
And look, I know that Braves fans, well, why didn't we re-sign Dansby Swanson or Freddie Freeman? This guy, the heart and soul of the Braves, needs to be signed with a long-term contract. I think it was tough because it's a business. And I know that we want to try to keep all of our players. But, when a team like the Yankees offers Max Fried a huge contract, or the Dodgers offering Freddie Freeman, or the Cubs, Dansby Swanson, there's going to be a team out there that's probably going to offer a ton of money to Ozzie Albies. But the key is we have got to find a way to assure him that he is a Brave for life. I mean, I think that mindset is giving a player a long-term contract because we love him. We want him to stay in this organization.
And I have a trivia question for you as we go to the break, and I want you to think about it, all the folks that are listening out there over the break. I'm going to give you one name, and when we come back, I want to see if anybody knows who that is.
Oh, yeah.
The name is Jack Strand. Jack Strand, Jack Strand. Jack Strand is the clue.
Yeah. And by the way, today is the debut of ESPN Jeopardy hosted by Joe Buck. I
One of your favorites, huh?
I love sports trivia games. I'm going to watch this. I am so excited about it. I might play along. I might know all the answers.
Absolutely. Jack Strand is the name that I want you guys to come back with. That's the clue. And you tell me something about him in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. We're going to our first break of the day. You're watching Sports Visions on YouTube as well as Facebook Live, and you're listening to WOTC HD2, Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Let's do this.
Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Tiffany Maddox with a look at your morning's headlines. A judge has sentenced the father of school shooter Colt Gray to 15 years in prison. 55-year-old Colin Gray was convicted of charges that include second-degree murder, in part for giving his son Colt the gun that he used to kill 4 people at Appalachian High School in 2024. Earlier this week, Colt Gray was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Meanwhile, there's a program in the Russell County Jail that's designed to give inmates the tools and opportunity to stay out of trouble when they are released. About 20 inmates have participated in the Ignite program. The inmates participate in classes ranging from personal finances to the arts. Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor says the program is now expanding. With help from Chattahoochee Valley Community College, new job training will be offered to inmates in the program. And with students returning to the classroom next week, the Muskogee County School District, along with other traffic safety organizations, joined for the annual Schools Open Drive Carefully event Thursday. The message is still the same as last year. Drive with caution and slow down, especially as children are getting on and off the school bus. For WRBL News 3, I'm Tiffany Maddox. Have a great weekend.
Good Friday morning. We are starting the day on a tad more comfortable note with temperatures in the upper 60s, but most of us in the 70s across the region. We have a few clouds around this morning, but this afternoon will turn hot with high temperatures in the mid 90s. Heat index values close to triple digits yet again. The good news, rain and storm chances return this weekend. Expect scattered showers and thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday. The added clouds and rainfall will help keep temperatures closer to 90 next week.
To get the full story, visit sportsvisions921.com and click on the WRBL tab. Sports Visions 92.1.
Have you filed for disability benefits but were denied by the Social Security Administration? Or do you need to apply and are overwhelmed with paperwork? Are you between the ages of 50 and 63 and can no longer work because of an illness or injury? Thousands of hardworking Americans are in your situation. They file for disability benefits and are unnecessarily denied their much-needed benefit check. Call now for a no-obligation, free evaluation. We can help you nearly double your chances of approval and get your benefit checks faster. We understand the physical, emotional, and financial impact. We'll share our insider expertise and help you get your disability claim filed and paid immediately. There is a time limit to apply, so call right now. Operators are standing by to help you.
800-714-7917. 800-714-7917. 800-714-7917. That's 800-714-7917.
If anyone listening to me is riding in a vehicle that they don't want, I can help you out of that vehicle. I have financing for everybody. No matter what you owe on your vehicle, bring it to me. I'm going to get you out of it. And remember, at Bratton Automotive, I stack them deep and sell them cheap.
This hour brought to you in part by Gill's Auto Sales, now celebrating their 40th anniversary.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
I'm Shanola Hampton. I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd, 12 to 3 on Sportsvisions 92.1. Now back to the Sportsvisions morning show. Here's Carver Tigers legend DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the Sportsvisions morning show. It's a Flashback Friday kind of day. And, of course, it's DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge. We're broadcasting from the PNB studios in beautiful Midtown Columbus, Georgia. Only a 40-yard dash down the street from the Aflac Tower. Richie, we went to the break, and the Jack Strand was the name that was the clue out there. And I wanted to see if anybody had any inkling of who Jack Strand is and currently will be. But I'll just give you one more clue. He wears the jersey number 18, 1-8. Jack Strand. And again, what time is up. He's the guy that's been taking the snaps with 11-on-11 with the Atlanta Falcons. He's a rookie out of Minnesota
State Moorhead.
Minnesota State Moorhead. Everybody knows that.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Strand is the quarterback right now, currently running the first team offense with the Atlanta Falcons. How about that?
Opportunity of a lifetime for an undrafted free agent rookie that has a chance to prove himself with a stacked roster. If he's going to be taking snaps with the ones, he is going to make the most of it.
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew? Especially with the recent injuries. They just recently signed Cooper Rush, so that's why they're not going to.
Oh, he'll beat Rush out.
Yeah, no pun intended. No, I was going to say they don't want to rush him. But
but it's amazing. I mean, I just can't fathom. I'm trying to gather my thoughts and the Atlanta Falcons, my Atlanta Falcons. Again, let me make that myself perfectly clear. I've been a lifelong Falcon fan. I know that the Green Bay Packers gave me my opportunity to play in the National Football League as well as the Denver Broncos, but I have been a lifelong Falcon fan. Deacon Walter Jones, he raised me to cheer for everybody in our state. I was a Braves fan, a Hawks fan, a Falcon fan, a Georgia fan, Georgia Tech fan, Columbus State, Columbus Tech. You name them, you line them up. I'm for the home team.
So I just want to give you a blast from the past. Some of the great Falcons players that you grew up rooting for, like Billy White Shoes Johnson, Gerald Riggs, Steve Barkowski, those teams coached by Lehman Bennett that made the playoffs, 1980, had home field advantage. They looked awesome. And of course, as a lifelong San Francisco 49ers fan, we'd have to play the Falcons every year in the NFC West. And so my memories of the Falcons, not as great as yours. I'm happy for the Falcons fans, but I could still remember 1991, Chris Miller, Hail Mary to Michael Haynes to beat the 49ers. Still hurts to this day.
You did a great intro there. And again, it's nothing that you knew. This is not scripted, but the fact of the matter, you mentioned two of those three Atlanta Falcon players. Billy White Shoes Johnson and Gerald Riggs were two great friends of mine. Matter of fact, Gerald Riggs is a fraternity brother over and beyond football, but Billy White Shoes Johnson and myself, we collaborated on a lot of different events, and he and I had many opportunities to do events together, and I enjoyed my time of knowing. You're talking about a great player. He was even a better man. Yeah. I mean, he was. It's amazing. I got to reach out to Billy, man, because again, for so many years, even though he did not have the records as a Atlanta Falcon in the Atlanta area, but the work that he put in as a servant and leader and working with kids and training kids and being an ambassador, several, ownership groups ago, he was a part of that organization, and they brought him in, and he was able to, he was just a part of the establishment. Yeah. And again, just some great memories of those two.
Yeah, so many memories, and recently of the Atlanta Falcons, they've had a lot of success in the last 40 years. I mean, I want to go back to 1991 when they ended up taking on the Washington football team in the divisional round of the playoffs. Jerry Glanville was the coach.
Yeah.
You remember he would actually leave tickets at will call for Elvis.
Yeah.
He was a character.
Yeah, he was.
I love that 91 Falcons team. They were very entertaining. The two legit to quit Falcons?
Absolutely. What about those Grits Blitz Falcons?
The Grits Blitz in the 1970s
Jerry.
had some of the greatest defenses of all time.
Absolutely.
That's all they did was like blitz on just about every play.
How about Fulton Kuykendall? You remember that name?
Now I'm going to have
that's
to
a
Google
blast
that
from
one.
a past.
That's definitely a blast from the past. Maybe I'm not ready for ESPN Jeopardy.
Hey, I got you. Listen, Bobby Brown had one for you. He said, "Look, man, I had to Google this Strand kid. He didn't. He said he didn't know. You ain't supposed to know him. We ain't supposed to know. It's unfortunate, And I look forward to every opportunity that an undrafted free agent has. But
Absolutely.
certainly not my favorite football team of all time, and at the quarterback position." This year, when we're trying to redecipher and get everything situated, we got a new coach, we got a new head of football operations, and we got a rookie quarterback that's taken the first several days of snaps with the first team.
Well, I have a lot of confidence. First-year coach Kevin Stefanski, which is a two-time coach of the year. If he could win in Cleveland, I think that he could win anywhere he goes. He was a former offensive coordinator for the Vikings, coming in, building his system. I think that whatever quarterback is going to be taking the first snaps, he is going to make that quarterback successful. And I think what helps is the Falcons have a very good offensive line. They have got weapons like a Drake London, a Kyle Pitts, a Bijan Robinson. Even though he's in a contract dispute right now, I still think he's going to be ready for the start of the season. And whoever is taking snaps with the first team is going to have success. So we're pulling for Jack Strand to show up and show out and maybe turn some heads and think, wow, this guy can actually play. And that could lead to possibly having a quarterback battle whenever Michael Penix Jr. and Tua Tagovailoa is healthy.
And for all you Falcon fans that are just getting back into town, maybe you've been on a cruise, maybe you've been isolated at a beach without any way to hear any sports talk information. Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix both were out. Of course, we know Michael Penix. We had D'Orlando Ledbetter on yesterday, who has been a long-time beat writer for the Atlanta Falcons. If anybody knows the Atlanta Falcons outside of people that work for that organization, matter of fact, D'Orlando mightn't be more equipped to understand the fabric and the culture of the Atlanta Falcons because he's covered them some 30 years, I believe it is.
Yeah.
But Michael Penix wasn't expected. He had surgery back in November. He hasn't been released by the doctors to participate in the 11-on-11 drills and with the football team. Tua Tagovailoa was signed by the Falcons in the offseason to come in and fill this void. However, I guess with a lot of efforts of getting on top of his game and making sure that he had the reps coming into training camp. But we got to remember his body has not held up either down with Miami. But he came in, he had a back strain of some sort. They left it a very vague, explanation. But the bottom line was you have a guy that, you brought in, you signed in the offseason to be your starter, and he was not at day one or wasn't the quarterback day one in training camp or day two. And hopefully, the way they're talking, and again, it's hard to get through the mess with regards to are we really getting a legitimate answer or a legitimate explanation of what's going on with Tua's lower back?
Yeah, DJ, I want to say this because it has to be said. The Atlanta Falcons have not had a stable quarterback since Matt Ryan in 2021. They had Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ridder, Kirk Cousins with injury history, and also Michael Penix, and now Tua. Look, they're good, but they got to stay healthy. We want stability at this position. And Matt Ryan only missed a game maybe twice in his career with the Falcons.
And you had a great take yesterday. You were saying that now that Matt, even though Matt is in charge of football operations now, the possibility of him coming back, but D'Orlando doubled down and said, hell, it's no way in hell for Matt to even consider doing that. That's not in the cards. That's not in his deal.
Yeah, and I remember exactly those two games he missed. 2009 had the turf toe injury. They lost both those games. Chris Redmond came in, and they went 9-7 and missed the playoffs that year.
Wow.
That's how valuable Matt Ryan was in the organization. Won the MVP in 2016. I know that's wishful thinking, but he's the greatest quarterback to ever put on a Falcons uniform.
No doubt. Well. Yeah.
Big can of worms now.
Barkowski now. Barkowski. That was a name. Good. That was Michael Vick.
Chandler.
You forgot Michael Vick goes to the top of the list, brother.
All right. Now we started a nice debate.
Yeah. Yeah, come bring it on.
Oh,
bring it
man.
on. And hey, look, I encourage everybody out there that love the Falcons because Richard obviously is coming in from the West Coast with the San Francisco 49ers. So he has no idea how pumped, how great, how electric Michael Vick was.
I moved to Atlanta in 2006. I remember how big Michael Vick was in this city, where he was a rock star. Everybody knew, and his popularity was huge.
He
in
broke
Atlanta.
all of our hearts, but that's still not going to let you know how. That's not any indication of where he ranks as far as his impact on the city, his play on the field. He revolutionized the game. I mean, he not only was a great player of his time, he revolutionized the game with his legs.
Yeah, and I think I was more looking into stats.
Yeah,
that I was really a stats guy. That Matt Ryan won an MVP. He passed for over 40,000 yards, but. You're right. Steve Barkowski was outstanding. He actually played at Cal. I just wanted to throw that out there.
How about that for California?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had some players that played at Cal. They were from Georgia. Sharif Abdul-Rahim comes to mind. Anyway, now I'm going. See, DJ, I'm pumping myself up for ESPN Jeopardy. I'm ready to – you can tell. I've come out in this segment saying, hey, Joe, I'm ready. You want to have me as a contestant on ESPN Jeopardy? I'm ready.
I got you. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to have an opportunity to talk to the man, Buck Bellew from 680 The Fan in Atlanta, the former University of Georgia starting quarterback on the national championship team of 1980, and one of the hottest sports talk guys in America now.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up next, Buck Bellew on the Sportsvisions Morning Show.
You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Veterans, do you take medication? At VA, prescriptions have a range of copay levels, from free to $5, $8, or $11 for a 30-day prescription, depending on your eligibility. Refill by mail, in person, or on VA's mobile app. Sign up at va.gov or call 1-800-MyVA-411.
Damaging an underground utility can cause a lot more problems than you think. By causing a potentially avoidable damage to underground utilities, there's many scenarios that do not end well. To keep the gas, power, water, and internet running, using 811 to have your underground utilities marked is a critical piece of the damage prevention process, whether you're a homeowner or an excavator. It's free, it's simple, and it's the law. Visit al811.com for more information.
Sepsis kills more than 258,000 Americans every year, and the number of people getting sepsis is rising. Anyone can get sepsis, but those who are older or chronically ill are even at higher risk. You can reduce your risk of developing sepsis by getting your flu and pneumonia shots, practicing good hygiene, getting immediate care if you develop signs of an infection. Every minute counts when it comes to sepsis treatment. The sooner you get treatment, the better the outcome. Sepsis is a medical emergency. Help stomp out sepsis. Sepsis.org.
In Iraq, our truck hit a roadside bomb. I had about 16 surgeries on my hand so that I could regain function. And when I came home, I needed a new roof due to a storm. And I was about to lose homeowners insurance as well. I applied for Operation Homefront Critical Financial Assistance Program. And it's good to know that when we come home, there are people who are there that care about us. Operation Homefront, they've really been a blessing.
Visit operationhomefront.org to learn more.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic, safe, effective, even money saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game. So I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Alabama at highschoolofficials.com.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone,
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
but treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
The YMCA is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick below the surface. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community, living with sincerity, giving every day my everything. With my why, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why. Learn more at ymca.org for a better us.
You're home for the Dan Patrick Show, 9 to 12 on Sportsvisions 92.1. Now back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Here's former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Buck Baloo, good morning. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Buck. Hey, really excited, man. Hey, look, you got a chance to go over to Gwinnett and check out a guy that everybody's pretty much mortgaging the future on with regards to Ronald Acuna Jr. What do you think? Is he ready?
Oh, he's ready. He's been ready. And so I don't know what we're waiting on here. Let's get him. Let's plug and play is what I'm thinking. He made a great catch out in right field up against the wall where he exploded and sprinted back to the wall, jumped up, made a great catch. Look, the bat may be a little rusty here, but it's go time, guys. I mean, second half of the season, it's time to get a little separation on those Phillies. And Acuna's got to be the one that's going to help lead the way here in the second half.
Buck, you had the experience out at Gwinnett, and it's been some years since I've had the opportunity to watch a AAA game out there. But can you set the table, kind of paint a picture of what that experience is like now?
Well, we went out there because we were going to see my son and I. We were going to see more than just Acuna. We were going to see Sean Murphy behind the plate. We're going to see Hassan Kim at shortstop. We're going to see Andrew McCutchen out in left field. There's going to be a huge roster turnover here in the next several days as the Braves line up and get ready to make the second half run to the postseason. So get ready, guys. Hassan Kim's going to be coming back. The more I saw of Jarvis at shortstop, the more I liked. Braves are loaded at the shortstop position after taking 3 in the draft a year ago. So look for Anthopoulos to use some of that shortstop depth in these trade deadline deals that are rapidly approaching.
Yeah, Buck, I was a huge fan of Andrew McCutchen in the early 2000s with the Pirates, the 5-time All-Star. He's 39 years old. His prime years are behind him. But can Andrew McCutchen realistically get called up and make an impact on this Braves roster?
Well, I see him as a guy that's coming off the bench, a role player, might fill in occasionally, a guy that can pinch hit. You got a veteran bat coming off the bench late in games when it's crunch time. I think that's the role he's going to be looking at if he gets called up. It's going to be that. He won't be out there starting, playing out in left field every day.
Buck, while we're talking Atlanta Braves, one of the greatest outfielders in Braves history and Major League Baseball history, Andrew Jones, got inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, man. Obviously, I know that those were some great years. The 19-year-old got called up and was playing under Bobby Cox. I can remember, frequenting down at the stadium and seeing this young man in his early years. But what were your takeaways from, of course, it taking so long for Andrew to get inducted and his career as you saw it?
Well, I'll just never forget, the 19-year-old going out and hitting 2 home runs in his first 2 World Series at bats in New York at Yankee Stadium against the Yankees. I mean, how do you ever forget the memory that we got to enjoy that night? And then As a former outfielder, I certainly totally respect his skill set. I just love the fact of the way he played the game. He played shallow out in center field to take away those bloop singles that always seem to fall in with other center fielders. And then he had this rare talent, this gift of being able to recognize the ball off the bat and go back and end up in just the right spot to make the play on a ball. So took away those cheap hits and was able to go get those balls up against the wall and deep. This guy was amazing defensively, 10 gold gloves, and over 400 home runs. But, as far as the waiting goes, I don't know. I mean, this got to be sweeter at this point in time for him, having heard being ignored for 8 previous ballots here. This got to be a great feeling for he and his family. Just so happy for Andrew. This is the 8th player and coach. And when you add in Sherholtz that came off that great run that Bobby Cox and the boys had. There's 8 of them now that are going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Buck, Tampa did a fantastic job hosting SEC Media Days. I know that my favorite part when I was a part of it last year in Atlanta was filling out that ballot. It looks like Georgia has been the preseason favorite as they got the most first place votes. You also have Gunnar Stockton, all third team, KJ Bolden on the first team, Drew Bobo. Talk about what you are looking forward to about Georgia taking the field in the 2026 season as they get ready to face Tennessee State in their opener.
Well, I'm looking forward to the winning. Seeing how they're going to win all these football games they're going to win. Look, I don't know if it's a good thing, the media picking Georgia to win. I think they picked like 6 out of 25 years, the last 25 years. So that might be a curse, an indication of what's to come. But look, Kirby, I thought did a great job. The dean of SEC coaches, the winningest head coach as far as SEC wins in his first 10 years on the job. Nobody's done it quicker than Kirby. Love the fact that he says there's a lot of distractions, a lot going on with NIL and transfer portal and where is college football going and how many teams are going to be in the playoffs. And Kirby says, look, we're just focused on winning. And as a Georgia man, that brings a smile to my face right there. As far as Gunnar goes, he's better than third team. Come on, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I got Trinidad Chambliss as my top-rated quarterback in college football, not just the SEC. And I'm expecting Arch Manning to do some huge things this year. But I've got Gunnar there in the top 3 in the SEC, and looking forward to seeing Gunnar have another outstanding season. I just don't get these people that criticize and doubt Gunnar Stockton. He's an accomplished guy. I mean, you got to look back at what he did at the Georgia high school level. A few people did it better than him. And then what he did a year ago as a first-year starter tells you, if you're paying attention, tells you all you need to know. This guy is a winner. This guy, he shows off everything Kirby wants this program to be. So I'm thrilled to have both those guys out there running the show this year. Raylan Wilson, I really love him at the linebacker spot. And Drew Bobo is such an important piece of the puzzle at center. As a quarterback, you learn to appreciate these centers. And, I had Ray Donaldson was the best center I ever played with. He went on to play, I think, 17 years in the NFL. So I think I know a good center when I see one.
He is the pride and joy of Valdosta, Georgia, the dual sports star, Buck Bellew. Buck, we've been around long enough to see Kirby mature over the years. And one of my takeaways from Media Day being down in Tampa and seeing him early in the week is that the way his whole presentation, the way he, approaches the podium, the way he addresses the media, the way he talks to the media now is so much different than when he came along, 8, 9, 10 years ago, man. He was so tight and he was really rigid, and now he's relaxed. He's been there, done it, has a couple of championships under his belt, both the SEC as well as national championship, but he's just it's been a joy to watch him. It was a joy watching him last week, man, the way his presentation went, really, and we know where he started, but I certainly know that, again, here he is a few 9, 10 years later, he's at the top of his game.
Yeah, he does a great job with the media now. Previously, early on, he was combative with the media. I never saw him get after you, DJ, but he was pretty combative with the media. But look, Saban taught him an important lesson, and that is use these media opportunities to promote your program. And he's done an A-plus job of that.
Buck, the Atlanta Falcons rookies are already reported to Flowery Branch. We've got the veterans reporting tomorrow and then full practice on Wednesday as their first preseason game is August the 14th against Denver. One takeaway, I love Zachariah Branch. I've been seeing some videos of him. This is a speedster. I'm talking like their receiving core, along with Kyle Pitts, Drake London, getting Jahan Dotson, welcoming back Amadei Zaccheaus. I think that Zachariah Branch could make a huge impact. What do you think about this dynamic offense that the Falcons have, and also with Bijan Robinson in the backfield?
Well, look, as far as Zach Branch goes, look, he's going to make an impact as a kick returner. Falcons have been atrocious at that the last couple of years, so expect a really big impact, important impact in special teams. But I was looking at it again last night, and I really expect him to be a part of the passing attack, playing in that slot receiver set where you see so many of these guys in the slot catching the balls short to intermediate and then making people miss. And this is this guy's game. He is elusive with great hands, competitive, strong body type too. He's not going down easy. He's going to break a lot of tackles. I'm expecting Zach Branch to make an impact with this offense, so looking forward to that. They need some help there. I'm not sure what Dotson's going to bring to the table. He has not done much. Maybe the fresh start will help him, but certainly with Drake Baldwin, you got to find ways to target him, 8 to 10 targets a game. You got Bijan Robinson's going to touch it 20 times a game when you add up his carries and his receptions. Kyle Pitts is going to be a part of that 12 personnel offensive group under Stefanski, where they're going to have 2 tight ends on the field, and expect him to be getting a lot of these play action shots over the middle of the field, intermediate too. So look, Bijan is a perfect fit. Been doing a deep dive into how he's going to fit into this new system. Bill Callahan, one of the better offensive line coaches in the league. They're still going to run that wide zone and run it a lot. I think they want to run it less, though, than they did a year ago, and move to some of these gap scheme runs, which will allow Bijan to attack inside, attack at the edge, too. So I think, that's probably why Stefanski got the job. He had a great plan offensively to how to feature Bijan Robinson, the best running back in the NFL.
Now, we talk about Bijan Robinson, and obviously he's a big money ball player, but you know as well as I do that the NFL is made up of a lot more free agents than there have been spot-on draft choices and selections. And what that leads me to say is that Dan Jackson, from what I understand, obviously is a free agent with the Atlanta Falcons. He's in camp, and he's a wild card. He's a guy that's a good special team player, good running back out of the backfield. What do you think his chances of making the team are this year?
Look, man, I mean, it's a glorious day now. The Falcons are now recognizing Georgia players that are capable of playing at the NFL level. So that is a feel-good thing there after 50-some-odd years of giving the Georgia players the stiff arm. For the most part, it's good to see them now investing. I think they're paying attention to what's going on up in Philadelphia with all those Bulldog players helping the Eagles win all these games. So I'm thrilled with that. I spent, 25 years here in the sports talk radio business addressing the fact that the Falcons were just ignorant, ignoring the Georgia Bulldog products. None of it made any sense to me. I'm glad I don't have to complain about that anymore. But, yeah, Dan Jackson, special teams ace, I would look for him to maybe make a run at making the team.
Buck, I know that you're a huge LeBron James fan. How does it sit with you with him landed in Philly?
Yeah, I'm just stunned that he took this. Did you see the size of the deal? I'm a little shaken by that. I know he's got plenty of money, but never thought I'd see him taking a 2-year, $8 million to go play in Philly. Look, I understand he wants to go out on top. The Lakers weren't going to allow him to do that. So he's got a little game left. And so he's going to bring something to the table. Tell you, look at the Sixers on paper. And if I'm the Knicks, I'm a little concerned about what they've put together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, Buck, it's always a pleasure to have you on, and we appreciate for the Sports Visions Nation to hear from you. But before we go, again, I just wanted to give us a little outline of what you had coming up. I know we're right at the end of here. It's the second half of the baseball season. College football, high school football, pro football is right here. What's your schedule as far as your itinerary, as far as making your way out to whether it's a high school game and going back home down to Valdosta, where obviously high school football is king, or whether it's going out to the training camp to check out the Falcons, or for that matter, I think on the 12th they're Kirby's welcoming us back as Letterman to see the summer practice. What's your itinerary this summer?
Yeah, I never missed that one, going back to see the dog scrimmage. So appreciate Kirby reaching out to the Letterman and allowing us to come and have a big-time fellowship prior to the scrimmage, and then to get a good look at the team. I hadn't missed that one. Hadn't missed that one yet, DJ. But, I was up last night till about 1 a.m. deep diving into this Falcons training camp. I've got 10 storylines with the Falcons training camp. Obviously, number one is the quarterback competition. But I came up with 9 other really compelling storylines in this training camp. I'm really excited. Matt Ryan involved has got me believing. Ian Cunningham is a guy I respect from what he's been able to do as the assistant general manager in some places where they're very successful personnel-wise. So I'm calling them the new Falcons. And I'm really excited about what we're going to see. So, yeah, I've got 10 storylines that are compelling at the Falcons training camp, and I'm looking forward to talking about all of them.
Lastly, that town that you're from that's known for high school football, are there any names or teams that we should be on the lookout for this year?
Look, these South Georgia boys are tough, all right? They don't get babied and coddled like they do up here in Metro Atlanta. So I don't know, man. I'd keep an eye out on these South Georgia teams. They'll take you down if you're not careful. But I do appreciate, how they travel too. I mean, you see a lot of these games early in the year where they'll travel up to Metro Atlanta and play ball, man. So selfishly, we'll always be a South Georgia guy. And, they raise us a little different down there. You don't have to the coaches don't have to handle these kids, these young men with kid gloves. You can coach them tough down there, and it's going to pay off for some of these guys when they get to college, no doubt. I mean, I was so fortunate as I look back on it, playing at Valdosta with the coaching we had there. Wright Bazemore, one of the greats of all times. Watched him growing up, and then Jack Rudolph running that defense was the best I've ever seen for 33 years. Could have coached anywhere, the college level, the NFL level. He was satisfied with raising a family down in Valdosta and being the defensive coordinator there. Joe Wilson, who was my coach for a couple of years, the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, and went on to win a state title at Lowndes, the rival of Valdosta, shipped things up down there in Wintersville a little bit. But I was so fortunate, DJ, when I got to Georgia, I was just stunned. It really dawned on me as a freshman at Georgia that I knew most all of the stuff that our quarterback coach, Bill Pace, and then George Hafner was breaking down in the quarterback room every day. So just thank my lucky stars for the opportunity to grow up in Valdosta and play there.
Absolutely. But we want to thank you so much for waking up with us here on the Sports Visions morning show. And listen, man, keep doing what you're doing and have a great rest of your morning.
Hey, DJ, love you, man. You guys take care.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Thanks, Buck.
Sing up, sing up.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning right here on Sports Visions 92.1.
And Golden Donuts, their dedicated team rises before dawn each day to handcraft their signature donuts using time-honored recipes and the finest ingredients. Be sure to try their daily special, where you can get 2 glazed donuts, a small coffee, or small soft drink for just $3.50. And inquire today about Golden Donuts catering.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
Happy 40th anniversary to Gills Auto Sales. This will be a year-long celebration with inventory and deals like you haven't seen in a long time. Every lot in Gills' lineup is stocked with a car, truck, or SUV that you've been dreaming about. Hey, want to save more than ever before on the vehicle of your dreams during the 40th anniversary celebration? You gotta get to Gills.
O'Reilly Auto Parts gets you back to savings. Pick up select Royal Purple fuel system additives. Buy one, get one free. Plus receive 4 times O-Rewards points.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Stop! Listen to this urgent message from 1-800-NEW-RATE. Don't pawn that title until you talk to 1-800-NEW-RATE first. If you need cash and have a free and clear title to your vehicle, don't pawn it before you call 1-800-899-6669. We offer monthly payments and also report to the credit bureau to help you build your great credit. With each payment paid, your balance will reduce until it's paid off. So if you have a free and clear title to your vehicle, call 1-800-NEW-RATE first to discuss your options. Don't pawn that title. Let us show you what a 1-800-NEW-RATE deal has to offer you. Just call 1-800-899-6669 to discuss your options. Don't wait. Call us today and let us show you how we can lower your payments and help your credit at the same time. Call now. 1-800-NEW-RATE at 1-800-899-6669. 1-800-899-6669. Call right now. Motors Acceptance Corporation, doing business as 1-800-NEW-RATE. Georgia Installment Lender License. NMLS number 1943997.
You guys just didn't want it bad enough. That should have been an easy win. What were you doing out there? You got to hustle. You could have made that play if you'd been open.
On the car ride home after the game, when you think you're helping by telling me what I did wrong and what I need to work on, all I hear is that I'm not good enough, that I'm supposed to be perfect, that it's not okay to lose. On the car ride home, all I need to hear is how much you love me and enjoy watching me play, that my worth isn't determined by my performance, that even on my worst day, I am worthy, that you see me learning, growing, and doing my best, and that is enough.
This message presented by the GHSA and the Georgia Athletic Directors Association.
What I remember most is the loneliness I felt, the separation from other people. At the end, drinking was no fun for me. Since I've started to attend AA meetings, the greatest gift is that I've become reconnected. I'm part of life again. I really like myself, and that's wonderful. AA is a miracle in my life.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Sepsis kills more than 258,000 Americans every year, and the number of people getting sepsis is rising. Anyone can get sepsis, but those who are older or chronically ill are even at higher risk. You can reduce your risk of developing sepsis by getting your flu and pneumonia shots, practicing good hygiene, getting immediate care if you develop signs of an infection. Every minute counts when it comes to sepsis treatment. The sooner you get treatment, the better the outcome. Sepsis is a medical emergency. Help stomp out sepsis. Sepsis.org.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Now back to DJ and Thrift on Sports Visions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge in the building. It's a flashback kind of Friday. Richard, so who are we flashing back with this morning?
With some Public Enemy.
All right, we're broadcasting from the P&B studios in beautiful Midtown Columbus. And, of course, we appreciate Buck Ballou and all that he brings to the show. But right now, we got one of the top play-by-play guys in, or color, whatever you want to say. He's just an announcer, a high school football announcer. He's one of the hottest in the Chattahoochee Valley, and he's with, of course, Alabama Georgia Alabama Sports Live. His name is Mike Frost. Mike, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Excuse the eyes. I'm just still getting ready for the morning.
Hey, man, don't worry about that. We just glad to have you on this morning to not necessarily introduce you, because I think you've made your way around the Bi-City area with regards to calling games, the last year or so. But we're just glad to have you on, man, to kind of help us kick off this high school football season. We got Media Day coming up for Muskogee County in a couple of hours. I know you are not going to be there, but man, what you've brought to the table with regards to your information, your enthusiasm, your knowledge to the high school football games, man, these kids feel like they're pros.
Yeah, man, it's been a blast to be able to be out here and be part of it, man. I used to coach around the game for a while, but being out here, watching these kids kind of develop and grow and watch them really hone their craft and try to make it to the next level. It's been fun watching these kids out here lately.
Mike, why don't we do this for the folks that might not know who you are, or they're just coming on the scene with knowing who you are? Why don't you let them know your background? You may mention that you have been coaching and all that stuff, but go back to where you're from and where you played ball, where you coached. Give us all that information.
Oh yeah, I guess you could say you could start when I was probably about 8 years old with the Northwest Steelers back in the day out there on Double Churches Road. I playing for Coach Wilburn and Coach Donnie Coulter and all those guys back when we were winning peanut bowls, and no hate on Edgewood or Eastway, but we used to beat y'all every year.
Not my team.
Then making our way up, I played at Jordan, graduated in '99. I got, I guess you could say, a family full of athletes. I played after high school football. My brother played for the Kansas City Royals in baseball. My sister played 4 years of softball pitching in college. It's just been one of those things. And then afterwards, I couldn't let the game go, whether it was helping coaching high school football, high school baseball, it went back and forth. And then things happen, you have to pick and choose careers, follow what's best path, and then made my way around, and then started I was at Public 15 years, but I was still kind of in the game. I see a lot of my kids and all, and that's what happens when you get older. You run into kids that you coached, and then they still call you coach when they're in their 30s. You're like, man, either I'm getting old or, at least I made some kind of impression. And then fortunately, I got asked last summer to join on, and being back around the game, running back into parents that I used to be around, players that I used to play with that are now parents and coaches. It's been a blast being able to watch the whole thing develop and to just see the growth of the town and the community so far as the athletes go.
Frost, I want to say this about you because I've gotten to know you for the past year. We're going to miss you at Muskogee County Media Day. I know if you were going to be there, you would be coming out with questions, just as passionate about all these teams, because not only did you play the game, but your first year at Georgia Alabama Sports Live, you came out the gate with that knowledge and passion for all these local teams. And you've proven it. Basically, whether you're a color guy, a studio analyst, play-by-play, but I want to talk about Ice Cold Sports. It's something that you started, which has really been very helpful because you do a lot of research when it comes to looking up information that gets put out. Talk about where that love for not only researching sports, but that love for sports in general came, and why it was such an incredible fit in your first year at Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Oh man, it started when I was young. My dad was real big on sports. He always pushed us on that. Mama was the academic, leader. Dad was the athletic leader. So it started off then. I remember back even when I was 10, 11 years old, back when we used to watch WGN and you can get home from school and the Cubs would be on with Harry Carey. And I'd sit there with a scorebook at 10, 11 years old, like a little nerd. And I'd do the scorebook on the couch after school while watching the game. And then just really being a big part of it, man. I always liked the stats. I used to be able to memorize the back of baseball cards. And my dad would be like, hey, something, we'd be out in public. He'd go, tell him what Mark Lemke's hitting right now or something, just something wild like that. And I just love being a part of it. Something about sports, the camaraderie, having to get better every day, not being complacent. That's a big part of what I love about sports, and love being able to research things and see what people are doing, getting news out there. Not really, I don't try to do like any negative stuff if something breaks like that, but I like just informational, keeping people involved, making sure people understand what's going on, whether it be over here in Georgia or over in Alabama as far as the high school level, whether it's the classifications, the region realignments, now coming out that the entire, AA classification to private A and AHSAA, all 16 teams are going to make the playoffs. So regardless of how Glenwood does against those big monsters down there in Mobile, they're going to be in the playoffs this year in football. So it's going to be it's just one of those fun things I enjoy doing. Always have. I can't let it go as much as I try. Not as much as I try. I don't try. But it's just a part of me at this point. That's all I do.
Mike Frost is our guest this morning on the Sports Visions Morning Show, and Mike is obviously a key component to Georgia-Alabama Sports Live and the broadcasting team. I'm going to tell you, Mike, you really went to the top of the charts with me as I was able to, of course, hear you announce wrestling, high school wrestling. Now, we talk about track and field, and that's one of my things, you know, if we could do more coverage of, but I mean, wrestling, man, those kids, they don't get much love at all, but to see you, the way you were calling those games, just as effective and just as, excited as you would a football game. And that's next level stuff to me.
Yeah, it was a big part. It was something I just kind of wanted to get involved with at first, once we got out there, and I was like, wrestling sounds like something fun. I never did really wrestle myself, but I've been around some of the guys who did. I coached Scott over at Jordan, where I graduated from. His first year there was my senior year of high school, and he tried to get me to wrestle. It just wasn't for me. By that time, I was already a senior. I wasn't developed, and there were guys better than me that's been doing it for a long time. But it was always something I was interested in. And then coming out there, first match I was able to go to, it kind of like clicked in my head, because you walk into the gymnasium and you don't understand unless you're there the atmosphere that goes on. It's not only is it intense, not only is it a whole, because parents are watching their kids basically try to tear each other's necks off. And then you get out there and like the intensity, but it's also the camaraderie. Everybody gets along. They all look out for one another. You see kids from different teams and different high schools practicing with one another, kind of teaching each other the techniques and all, and try to work with one another and being part of the high school. And like you said, like they don't get the recognition, even back in the day when we were in high school, the newspaper would cover things, the TV would cover things, but not really a whole lot of high school back then. As far as wrestling, not a whole lot back then either. So these kids were really excited to have us out there and have us be able to put them out there, and they can go back and watch it. And I couldn't help but get excited just because of the atmosphere. So I don't know how many times people probably got tired of me yelling pinfall loud as I probably could. But yeah, it was a blast, man. I loved it. I had a lot of help from like Joey Secoy out at Columbus High School. He was helping me get some of the intricacies of the athlete sports, about learning about wrestling, some of the techniques, some of the verbiage that goes on with the sport. So it's been fun, and I look forward to this year as well when it kicks back around.
Well, Mike, we got you for a couple of more minutes, and I want to make sure that we get you in to talk about what your purpose of being here, and that's high school football. What are you excited about as we look at another high school football season?
Oh, man, I'm excited about, one, the new regions, seeing how it's not, usually back here in Columbus, you get a lot of them. They'll have about 6 or 7 of the local schools will all be in the same region almost every year. So they're all going to be playing against one another. Now you kind of got it split up, like North Side's in 6A. You got a couple of them in 4A, like Columbus and Spencer. You go down to 3A, and you've got Carver, Kendrick, and a couple other. But watching some of these kind of develop, what these storylines are going to develop throughout the year, seeing how they fare in these regions, how everything goes, see if they can improve upon last year with some of the playoff expectations, like Columbus and Spencer going up to 4A. Can they do it again? Can Carver go back to back to back in a region that already has another undefeated defending state champion in Worth County? You've got Crisp County with Justin Newman out there, the former defense coordinator for Carver.
Dark side defense.
Oh, yeah. Made the playoffs last year at Crisp County. You got, who else we got out there? Kendrick, of course, is going to be battling. You got Worth County, Crisp County, and then Sumter County, a state semifinalist. So just in that region alone, 4 out of the 5 teams went deep in the playoffs last year. So it's going to be a fun region to watch. Being able to watch the Alabama side with Glenwood going to the private, playing teams like St. Michael Catholic, UMS Wright, Miguel Tulin, all big perennial powerhouses in Alabama. It's going to be fun to see how Coach Ryan Nelson and those guys prepare for those bigger schools down there from Mobile area, and see how that goes. And it's just going to be fun to see if Coach Blair Harrison can improve upon that record last year in his second year at Smith Station. So I'm just excited for all of it, man. I'm ready to go out there and smell that fresh cut grass.
Mike, today is actually the debut of ESPN Jeopardy on Disney Plus, and I know you and I could be contestants.
Oh, yeah.
I love just seeing your sports knowledge. You and I just need to get on that show. But that sports knowledge, does it come natural? Do you have to study and do research, or is it all up in here?
Some of it sticks, I think, with age. Some of it gets pushed out while the new stuff gets put in. The vessel up there is only so. I mean, the head's really big, so there's a lot of room up there, but I'm not sure there's a whole lot of empty space to go along with it. But it's just always been a thing, man. I remember sitting with my buddies. We'd go out and sit at a restaurant or something that had the trivia. You used to have the trivia up on the TV screens, and we'd sit at the little trivia boards and play the entire time we were hanging out. So, and it's just one of those, like, I like looking up stats and like reading the newspaper back when I was young, and it's kind of stuck with me. Just trying to memorize all that stuff. And yeah, I'd like to be a part of something like Jeopardy on ESPN, but I'm afraid I'd probably lose because I'd keep forgetting to answer in the form of a question. So,
well, this is what I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, I'm going to ask you this question now, since we're talking Jeopardy and that kind of thing. I'm going to throw a name out there, and I don't know the format of Jeopardy and how they do it, but I'm going to throw a name out there. And again, I want you to tell me again, who does he play for? Jack Strand, NFL. Quarterback.
Ooh. Man, that messed me up right there. You got me at 7 o'clock in the morning.
No, I'm not going to leave you hanging out there. Like, he's the young man. He's a rookie that actually is.
The Falcons.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I thought I'd make fun with you there because this is a kid, man. Who the hell would have thought that Jack Strand would have been taking the first couple of days of snaps in with the first team of the Atlanta Falcons? What the hell?
Yeah, you think I was looking at that last night or this morning, one of the two, and I was like, all right, I had to look this kid up because I'd never heard of him. And seeing where Tua and Phenix are both with injury, not being able to practice, you look at it, and he's right now Jack Strand's QB1, Cooper Rush QB2. So you've got Dak's old backup from Dallas being the backup for Jack Strand. So it's kind of odd to see. I don't know. Hopefully Tua or Phenix can kind of step up real quick with the health and get healthy, because otherwise Atlanta's going to be relying on Bijan a whole lot the first couple of weeks of the season.
Mike, I want to talk about softball because Georgia has it in the fall. You were the primary play-by-play announcer for Northside and some other softball teams in the area. Northside is going to be really good this year, especially with what the Coach Karras story is bringing back. Harris County is going to be good. Columbus, Shaw. Just talk about how excited you are that softball is going to be a part of the fall lineup on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Is that first game is going to be next Tuesday, August the 4th, is LaGrange taking on Northside at the Rock, as we like to call it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm not sure who all's been having preseason scrimmages, and although Northside went up to Troup County yesterday and had a preseason game, and they ended up beating them 8-1. So, good little start to the season, a little warm up, kind of see how they're going to go. But I expect to see how some of these teams are going to go. You had a lot of playoff teams last year in the area. You also had Shaw, Hardaway.
Oh, and Calvary. I forgot about Calvary.
Yeah, Calvary defending state champs, And, I mean, Harris County is going to be one of the top teams in 5A. Northside looking to make a stamp in 6A. I mean, I believe probably their toughest region opponent is going to be Woodward Academy or Noonan. Noonan's a previous state champ in the last 4 or 5 years. But it's going to be – it's fun, man, just watching these girls go out there and play. It's a high intensity. A lot of people who aren't really big fans of baseball because they say the game's slow really love softball because of the intensity and the speed of the game and how quickly it moves and how it kind of keeps their attention. And watching a lot of these girls, I mean, they practice. This isn't one of those things where, back in the day, it'd be like, all right, softball in the fall. Once softball's over with, we move on to another sport. A lot of these kids are practicing year round, trying to develop, trying to get better, really hone in on it. And it's going to be one of those things where it's coming out this year with us doing the broadcast, seeing how some of these young ladies improve upon their game and how much more intense the games are going to be. Who's really going to take that next step, whether it's being a leadership role from the graduating class of last year, having to step in. So we're going to see what these coaches have done to try to make the team the best they can coming into this season. And that first week's going to be pivotal to see what kind of outlook they can look forward to throughout the season.
Mike, my final question to you with regards to, broadcasting and football and that type of thing. I don't know about you, but we didn't have anything near like this when I was coming along. But this streaming and these special reports and all of these great interviews that you're able to do for the players and coaches, especially in football as the season approaches, Just like to get your take on that.
Oh, man, it's great. I mean, you hear the kids, they kind of love seeing us pull up. You know, they get a little bit more excited because, like you said, we didn't even, you know, back I graduated in '99. We didn't have that. We used to get excited just to see a guy like Dave Platter or somebody pop up on the sideline with a camera. We're like, hey, we're going to make the news tonight, guys. You know, so now it's like these kids get excited to see the same thing, building these relationships with these coaches and seeing them kind of progressing out and seeing how they kind of develop, see if they're able to, you know, kind of make the maneuvers with the new teams, the new rosters, kind of work with that, see how they kind of do the coaching part, the intricacies of the game. And then just the players themselves is what's the best part of it for me. Being able to watch these young men and these young women who work hard. I mean, they're out here in the heat. I'm trying to avoid it myself, even though I'm out here at the post office now working. But it's they're out there, and I mean, they work hard for what they do. And then to be able to be recognized, to be able to say, hey, Mama, I'm going to be on Georgia Alabama Sports Live today. Or, hey, Dad, you know, if the parents can't make it, that's what I hear the most of is parents, relatives, grandparents especially. Oh, I love it. I'm not able to make it to the games. I love what y'all do. We're able to watch my grandkid or somebody play. We're out of town. So that's one of the best things about it. And just to see it kind of progress and develop over this past year since I've been involved is a real big part of it. Because like you said, like we didn't have that growing up. We had the newspaper the next day. We could look at the box score or the little, you know, about a 6-inch article on each game. But to be able to go back and watch it and even use it as film. I know some coaches from out of town, they come in, I let them know, hey, we got, you know, we're broadcasting on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And they're like, oh, give me the page. We'll go back and we can have all the kids watch it and everybody, and they could actually have like a little film session watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mike Frost with Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Mike, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your morning, my friend.
Oh, man, I appreciate y'all. It's time to get to work.
All right.
See you, Frosty.
Mike Frost.
All right.
Hey, don't go anywhere. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to take a short break. Case Rasmus with the Phenix City 12 and under All-Stars, man. They're representing us in the Little League World Series, man. They have a lot coming up and a lot to tell you about so that you can follow them and make sure that you're on the bandwagon. You know what? The doors are still open. He's letting everybody get back on. You might not have thought about them, but guess what? The doors will be open in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2, Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning, right here on Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Tiffany Maddox with a look at your morning's headlines. A judge has sentenced the father of school shooter Colt Gray to 15 years in prison. 55-year-old Colin Gray was convicted of charges that include second-degree murder, in part for giving his son Colt the gun that he used to kill 4 people in Appalachian High School in 2024. Earlier this week, Colt Gray was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Meanwhile, there's a program in the Russell County Jail that's designed to give inmates the tools and opportunity to stay out of trouble when they are released. About 20 inmates have participated in the Ignite program. The inmates participate in classes ranging from personal finances to the arts. Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor says the program is now expanding. With help from Chattahoochee Valley Community College, new job training will be offered to inmates in the program. And with students returning to the classroom next week, the Muskogee County School District, along with other traffic safety organizations, joined for the annual Schools Open Drive Carefully event Thursday. The message is still the same as last year. Drive with caution and slow down, especially as children are getting on and off the school bus. For WRBL News 3, I'm Tiffany Maddox. Have a great weekend.
Good Friday morning. We are starting the day on a tad more comfortable note with temperatures in the upper 60s, but most of us in the 70s across the region. We have a few clouds around this morning, but this afternoon will turn hot with high temperatures in the mid 90s. Heat index values close to triple digits yet again. The good news, rain and storm chances return this weekend. Expect scattered showers and thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday. The added clouds and rainfall will help keep temperatures closer to 90 next week.
To get the full story, visit sportsvisions921.com and click on the WRBL tab. Sports Visions 92.1.
At JCPenney's mystery sale, everybody's a winner. Head in store for a chance to win an extra 30, 40, or 50% off. Or hit the $60 off jackpot deal. Yes, JCPenney. Giveaway valid 7/30 through 8/2 while they last. Exclusions apply. Must be 18 or older.
You're waking up with a Sports Visions morning show on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions morning show. It's a flashback kind of Friday. And, of course, big shout out to Mike Frost with Georgia Alabama Sports Live, the play-by-play announcer, getting ready for football season. But I tell you what, man, we got some people right now that are, that need your attention. We want you to come close. We want you to make sure that you turn your speaker levels up a little bit, because we got some important information to share with you. If in fact you just don't already know. Yeah, Case Rasmus is with us this morning. And you might say, what, Rasmus? I know that name. That's a family name. Coach Rasmus, good morning. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. How are y'all doing today?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for waking up with us this morning on the Sports Visions morning show, and congratulations on you and your team of Phenix City 12 and under All-Stars, man. You're going to be representing this area, and we are so proud of you.
Yes, thank y'all so much for having me. I very much appreciate it, and we're looking forward to putting on a good show for everybody out there.
Coach, I know that, everybody is probably, they got all the information that they need, but as far as anything that the people that are just joining us this morning that had no idea what was going on with the Phenix City All-Stars, is there any information to let us know when and where we can watch you?
So we're going to be on ESPN Plus beginning next August the 6th at 7 p.m. We're going to play August 6th at 7 p.m. against North Carolina, which will be a few hours after American will play at 1 p.m. Eastern time against Florida.
Yeah, Coach Rasmus, I've gotten to know, obviously, your dad from Lakeside, also won a state title at Russell County, but your two older brothers, we know who they are, Colby Rasmus and Corey Rasmus. Talk about having older brothers that, played baseball in the majors, and what was it like growing up with a bunch of brothers and a dad who baseball is just in your DNA?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Obviously, being able to travel with Colby around. I never considered myself a Cubs fan, but I remember going to Wrigley and watching Colby and then play against the Cubs. And probably the best memory I have at a big league park was Colby and them lost to the Cubs, and everybody there stayed to sing "Go Cubs Go" after the game. You had to get a hot dog, and so it kind of came to tradition going to the big league parks and figure out who had the best hot dog. I was a Wrigley fan. I thought Wrigley had the best hot dog of any park around. But just traveling around and just seeing that, walking by Albert Pujols, Matt Holliday, Lance Berkman, Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, all those types of guys, and seeing Colby interact, and later on myself being able to partake in pro ball a little bit in the minor league level and making it to big league camp. But with my dad, his knowledge of the game, my brothers, Colby, Corey, watching them, them playing against each other when Colby was in Toronto, Corey was in Atlanta. That was gut-wrenching, to say the least. But it was a lot of fun being able to just be a part of their experience a little bit and just learn from them on a consistent daily basis and learn the ins and outs of, one, how insanely hard the game of baseball is at any level. I mean, it's hard at any level. Obviously, coach pitch a little bit easier and it goes up, but at that major league level, that Colby was always the best player on any team he played on. And then Corey was, they were tit for tat on most teams they played on. Then they get moving through pro ball up to the big leagues, and then seeing them have to, they always worked their butts off. They didn't have a chance but not to work. But just seeing the best of the best out there is super cool, and letting people know that no matter where you're at right now, you may think you're the best player right now. There's somebody out there creeping around that can do anything you do, probably at a much higher level. So you always got to be working, and it's a tough road for sure.
Coach Rasmus, it's incredibly an honor to have you on. This not just to talk about, of course, the incredible feat that you are coaching the 12 and under Phenix City All-Stars. The fact of the matter is that you're able to help explain and help share the experience of your family and growing up in a household that was so baseball dominant and such great acumen in the household with our baseball family. We got people out there that are listening. We got parents, we got kids, we got coaches. And, this is a perfect opportunity for them to see how it was done. Again, not that, it's the book or it's the Bible, so to speak, but this is a great way, if you can't understand the Rasmus family and the way you guys, were trained and taught baseball, then, you don't know anything, because again, this is amazing that, like I said, we have you here on the Sports Visions morning show to speak not only about the greatness of the team that you're coaching right now, but we want to expound even more on your upbringing and what was important to you all. Did you play other sports, you and your brothers, and how did your dad handle you at home and or on the field? Was it different?
I'll say we definitely played multiple sports growing up: basketball, football. Kobe and Corey did karate, tennis for short spurts, and I mean, my dad was a big fan of multiple sports to help anyway, and big believer in if you want to play something, you'd be able to play it. I know it's funny. I have to tell people all the time. Kobe, he played 10 years in the big leagues, and he regrets quitting basketball in 10th grade. So even if you make it to the highest level possible, and you're playing the postseason, have great success, you're still, if you want to play another sport outside of physical limitations, maybe, or something, like, you probably need to play it, because at some point you're going to look back and probably regret not playing it. And I understand there's both ends of that spectrum. If you want to play at a higher level, Kobe, obviously from a physical standpoint, was a 5-star, 5-tool athlete, could run, jump, throw with the best of them, all that kind of stuff. But there's one thing too, at the end of the day, like right now he don't play, now I don't play, like I live in, Corey does real estate, Kobe does construction. So at some point you're going to be a normal everyday person. You need to be able to look back, hopefully, and enjoy your experience in high school, and what you went through and youth sports and whatnot growing up. And so growing up in our house, my dad pushed multiple sports. He just pushed to excel at whatever it is you were doing, to be the very best that you can possibly be, and to try to realize that your goal is not necessarily to be the best in, say, Phenix City or Columbus or Opelika. Your goal is to be the best in the Southeast, and then the East, and then the country, then the world. And because, like I said, there's always somebody out there working, just as hard, if not harder. And so, like I said, being around Colby and Corey, my brother Kyle, their commitment growing up, what they were able to do, what my dad brought consistency. He was very consistent with protein shakes. He was very consistent with the weight room. He was very consistent with our program, whether it be throwing, hitting, whatever it may be. And I would say the main thing is just consistency. And time definitely did seem a lot slower back then. And I'm not, old per se to be able to back in my day, but it definitely seemed a lot slower back then, where now there's so much going on. And I do believe people play all the time. And I think there's a fine line between playing all the time, but also development and preparation. I think that people, in the perfect world, people put a little more opportunity or time into preparation, development, not just into playing the game, but they go hand in hand. It's important to do both. And I think my dad did a good job with that, of the discipline, the structure, and helping us to be the very best we can be.
Coach Rasmus, back-to-back Alabama State championships, and you guys are in the Southeast Regional Tournament, which will take place next week in Warner Robins. How important is it that you have members on this team, including your son, your niece, that was on the team last year, that won that first game, and being able to be on national TV? And is kind of the jitters kind of gone away, because you do have some of your players that have been in the spotlight in the Southeast Regional last year and now getting to be in it for the second year in a row?
I'll say last year we were super excited about being there. We're a super young team. My goodness, we're a bunch of babies out there, and they worked hard. They showed up and did their thing last year at state or regionals. And the difference this year is we're going there with the expectation we're good enough to win, but there's going to be 2 to 3 teams that are good enough to win. And so it adds a different level of expectation, I think. And so a different kind of jitters. I know for me, from a coaching standpoint, every time I go into a little bit more meaningful game, I remember at rec ball in the regular season, my Cardinals team, we went undefeated, by the way, Phenix City champs. But every game there, even in your rec within our regular season, it got like, oh man, these kids, we want to win. We got to this. And so for me, from a coaching standpoint in particular, the jitters always come, but they definitely come at different levels. And so there's a fine line. I know the expectation is different, so we're preparing in a way like our goal is to go win this whole thing. Last year, honestly, this may be bad coaching, but our goal is, hey, let's just go win one. Let's go win one, get that experience, see what it feels like, and then we'll go from there. And our mindset here is this year, obviously, we got to win one before we can win two. But our kids, they're hungry, they're excited, they want to win it this year. And so we've been trying to prepare them in that way. But the experience of last year definitely helps us. It definitely helps us from a preparation standpoint. We faced two of the best pitchers in the regional last year, and Joey G and Cam Malone. And so we're looking forward to getting back to this year and winning more than one. Maybe get on a run and get hot, and who knows what can happen.
Coach Case Rasmus is our guest this morning on the Sports Visions morning show. And Coach, obviously, those great games and that are to scheduled right now. And again, to get there, first of all, let's talk a little bit about the folks that can help you guys, because again, you have to travel, you have to stay in hotels, you have to feed these kids. How have you been getting help, and again, how do you need help? How can the Sports Vision Nation help you?
I would say like I told Mr. Richard the other day, the main thing that I would ask for is for people, the venue at Warner Robins is incredible. It is not super insanely far away from even the beautiful Synovus Park or Golden Park right down the road here. It's really nice. If you can, take one evening. We're 7 p.m. Thursday. Hopefully us and American are playing a little bit further into Saturday, so you got a weekend day to get over there. If you can, try to get over there and watch, come and watch American at 1 o'clock Thursday, then stick around and watch us at 7. But we have a Facebook page. I'm trying to Phenix City 12U Little League All-Star Team on Facebook. That a lot of our stuff goes through there as far as if you want to donate and whatnot. But like I said, our kids love. We had a scrimmage set up like a week or two ago. We had over 100 people there, and our kids talked about it for a while, about how many people showed up to support them. So in a perfect world, go and make a day of it next Thursday. Come watch American take down Florida, and then hopefully come watch us take down North Carolina at 7 p.m. and just make a day of supporting our Bi-City area. And that'd be the best way to show your support, if at all possible.
Yeah, Coach, you take on North Carolina as the Lake Norman, who won it last year. In my opinion, this is one of the toughest regions to try to get to Williamsport. You got Nolensville, Tennessee. Lake Mary won the Little League World Series in 2024. Of course, American over in Columbus. I've been following the Southeast Regional Tournament. All the games streamed on ESPN Plus and ESPN. Matt Stewart does a great job with play-by-play. But talk about being in a double elimination tournament. Some teams get hot. We see teams like Northern able to come back from 5 runs in the bottom of the 6th. But you've seen great moments in this tournament. But the fact that when you were a 9-year-old seeing your 2 brothers at Williamsport, how much of a motivating factor is that you know what that stage is like? You've seen it yourself to try to get your kids as hungry to try to get to Williamsport, because you guys are right there and you guys feel that you have the team that could do it this year.
Well, the cool thing is like I said, with 7 of our players, at least, they know what that felt like. They know what the hotel situation was like with all the teams staying together, no parents allowed, obviously unless emergency or whatever. But, it's 4 kids to a room. It's the coaches. It's all the kids, the whole Southeast region running up and down the hallways, sometimes knocking on doors late in the hours. But they got in trouble, so hopefully we won't do that again this year. Not our team. We didn't get in trouble. The other team did. I think it was West Virginia. But it's a lot of fun. Our kids, they felt it last year. They got to experience it last year. And so there's a ton of talent here in this Southeast region. It's incredible that the Florida team is loaded. Nolensville is always loaded. Georgia always sends a powerhouse team, and I think American's going to fit right in that with them. North Carolina, like I said, Irmo, South Carolina is coming back again this year. It's going to be a lot of fun, super competitive, and like I said, our kids are chomping at the bit to show everything they got. Like I said, my niece Kinley, she's an absolute stud. I can't wait to watch her do really well this coming up week, as well as watching her, like I said, with the Central program in a couple weeks as well when they get started. We have, my son Riker is a pretty good little ball player. We have Kason Smith, great hitter. And our catcher Brooks Cameron is going to be a future star. His work behind the plate is incredible. So much good things, and like I said, our kids are ready, and I think that the past experience is going to give them an opportunity to step in ready to go and not have to, not the unknown, that we know what to expect, what to do. So now we just got to do it.
Coach, let's talk about your niece, Kinley. Obviously, playing Little League ball and excelling and, and competing with the boys. Realistically, moving forward, is this something that she'll continue to pursue? Is baseball or is softball the option for her?
Well, I've been trying to tell my brother Corey, and I get their thought process, but the major leagues, they want a female baseball player to be good enough to make it. They want it. And I think Kinley, if one could, her mindset is incredible. Her toughness, her grit, her ability is second to none. Shoot, her dad was a 4-year big leaguer. One uncle was 10-year. Her mom's brother played 18 years, Jeff Mathis, in the big league. So, like, her bloodline is good in that regard. And so she has all types of MLB talent running through her veins. And so, but I think they're going to step back and just play. I say step back. I mean, softball in its own right, and flag football is growing and booming. And Coach Holt, his program at Central is second to none. I think they're going to go to softball route and flag football route. But I'm still pushing, like, hey man, like, she could be it. She could be that first girl to make a good shot at playing in the big leagues, because they want it. And I think she definitely has the name. I think she has the body. Like, she's big and strong. But so I'm still trying. I think the baseball world I don't want to lose her in the baseball world selfishly, but wherever she goes, she's going to do an outstanding job for sure.
Good deal. Good deal. I know that there are a lot of parents that are listening right now. And if you had, a 5, 6, 7-year-old, at what stage do you introduce the game to them? Do you do what your dad did for you, or do you kind of let the kids, you expose them to all the other different sports? And if they take to whatever sports differently than others, what's your explanation to the parents that are listening out there, to the coach of of not only a great baseball team, but you were a great baseball player in family as well?
I would say, early and go just from the standpoint of just getting outside in the day and age of cell phones and video games and all that kind of stuff. Get them outside, go play, build that relationship, learn to communicate with the people that are around you, your community, and whatever sports they're even remotely interested in. Give them a little push. They may like it, they may not like it, who knows? But at least let them try it, and just get out there and learn to compete against other people, and get out there and have fun, enjoy it. So like I said, my son started baseball at, I think it was 3 or 4. It was super laid back and just in the backyard, throwing to him, letting him hit and run around and play all the time. My daughter started when she was 4, and so they played basketball, they played other stuff. And so I would say, as soon as they can get out there and say the sport they want to play, baseball, football, basketball, man, go for it. There's so many options out there, and I think our community is better whenever we have more kids that are involved in playing in our local sports.
All right, Coach Rasmus, you got to give us the itinerary. What's when do you guys play? What will you be doing each and every day of practice, and how the kids, I know school is going to be starting back real soon. How's that going to factor into the plan? Just give us that master plan of your itinerary coming up as you approach furthering in the World Series.
Well, you bring up the school world. We're not worried about that. Education, we can get that later on. But we're hopefully going to miss a good bit of school over the next few weeks. But basically wake up every day, the kids, and I pretty much put their remote. I go in their room we usually anywhere, depending upon when we play, but we play at 7, so it'll be a little bit later, but probably try and get to bed to our hotel room by 10 or so. I get in there, put on a sleep timer on their remote, 30 minutes. Hey, you got 30 minutes to fall asleep. If you're a TV person, if you're not a TV person, then you're, good. You got 30 minutes and you can fall asleep and wake up. We get some breakfast. We go hit. There's a local baseball facility down the road. We go hit, typically try to get the breakfast at the hotel because it's free. You got to enjoy that and get them moving 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, depending upon when we play that day. But get up, get moving, let's go hit, let's get something productive done, make your beds, tidy up your rooms, all that kind of stuff, get back, rest up. Then depending upon, like I said, the game, we'll leave 3 or 4 hours early before the game to go hit and prepare and whatnot. So like I said, depends on when the game is, but we try to get them moving early and often and rest up whenever we need to. So whenever they show up, they're in their, as good a form as they can be and well hydrated.
Yeah, Coach, I got to say, next Thursday, I'm thinking about making a day of it. There's American Little League plays at 1. They play Florida, and you guys play North Carolina at 7. If you're a fan of baseball, it doesn't get any better than that. We got 2 teams from the Chattahoochee Valley that's in the Southeast Regional. But, Coach, I do want to say I've followed Little League baseball for a while. We talked on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live show about that Northern Little League team in 2021 when you were the coach at Pacelli. A lot of those guys like Jacob Velos and Cam Carino, Will Thompson, those players were on your team. I start seeing a pattern when we have a team that's really good and competitive. About 4 or 5 years later, they become competitive baseball players. And in that Phenix City area, I mean, we've had Central win a state title. Glenwood has won multiple titles. Smith Station, Russell County. Just talk about growing and developing these Little League players to become, in about 4 or 5 years, top-notch high school baseball players.
Well, I believe there's a correlation between it for sure, because I know in '99 when my dad and them came in second place, lost to Japan, my dad, he's been giving me a lot of tips and advice, as he should. I welcome it every time, because obviously from a coaching standpoint, in my opinion, I'm biased. He's second to none in our area, maybe to Coach Howard. But he was giving me, critiquing me. I'm like, man, Dad, I was like, your leadoff hitter played in the big leagues for the Braves. Your 2-hole hitter played in the big leagues for the Astros, Cardinals, Blue Jays. Your 3-hole hitter, Brian Woodall, is still playing now, and I think it's Taiwan pitching. Your 4-hole got drafted. Your 5-hole got drafted. Your 6-hole is a starting shortstop for Auburn University. I'm like, so that is 6 really good athletes, obviously, that were really good at 12-year-old and Little League, and obviously were really good through high school. And there's other players on the team as well that played at a high level in high school as well. I was like, but our group here, I think for sure in 5 or 6 years, you're going to see them at the high school standpoint. Shoot before then, probably. You're going to see them really excelling at their high school wherever they go. Like you said, with Jacob Velos, who's probably my favorite player I've ever coached in my life. A ton of fun to watch play. Levi Thompson, Aiden Bowman, so many good, talented players that go through your youth sports leagues. And like I said, my thing is your local rec parks, play at your local rec park, please. Like, I know people think with travel ball, you have to play travel ball. And sure, like, my son, we've played travel ball, and I think there's obviously a time and a place for it. But your community, I think our local rec teams are the heart and soul of our communities. And the more people we can get to buy in and play and stick through, that maybe that some seasons may not go quite as good as others. Some may go a little better, but I think your local communities and getting this opportunity like this, the Little League route, your rec parks, is second to none. And like I said, the talent here in this area we have is really good. Phenix City, Columbus. It's a lot of fun watching them and being able to be a part of those things. I'm excited with my daughter coming up to be able to have at least 4 more years of that from a hands-on standpoint. And like I said, it's fun to watch these kids that are successful in Little League and maybe not as successful in Little League. Maybe they're a little bit more on the back burner, and for whatever reason, that still buy in and still work hard and don't take no for an answer, and they end up being high school, standouts as well. So also, just because you're not on an all-star team, I didn't make all-star. My brothers, I have 4 brothers, well, 3 brothers. All 3 of them made all-stars every year. I didn't make it every single year, and I still made it to AA and big league camp. So just because you don't make your all-star team, it doesn't mean that that's the end of the world. Just keep your nose down and keep working and get after it, and good things will pay off if you work hard.
Well, Coach, you've been incredibly, impressive in, of course, explaining this experience. You come from baseball royalty. The name Rasmus resonates in this area. And again, I'm not just saying this just because you're here. I'm saying it because that's the truth. And being in a position you are now, here, taking the team to the next level. I thank you so much, man. And I apologize for holding you longer, because this is a chance of a lifetime for the Sportsvisions Nation to get to hear from you, and of course the incredible experience that your team has in front of them, and also to hear about your wonderful baseball family.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for your time. And like I said, thank you for what you do for our community. It's super exciting, and I love, when your radio show comes on, when Georgia Alabama Sports Live, watching the games and being a part of it. It makes all of our players, I know from when I was coaching at Pacelli, it makes the players feel, as if they, they're like big leaguers. They get the, whether it be Dave Plata announcing or whoever it may be. It's a lot of fun, and thank y'all so much for what y'all do.
Before you go, once again, let everybody know when they can catch you play, and also what they need to do if they want to help donate or help you guys out in any kind of way.
Our Facebook page, Phenix City Little League, Phenix City 12U Little League All-Star Team. You can find ways to help donate on there. But like I said, please get out there. 1 o'clock next Thursday, come watch American take down Florida, and then stick around. There's a lot of good eating places in Warner Robins, beautiful venue. There'll be a game in between as well. And then come watch us hopefully take down North Carolina at 7 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Coach Case Rasmus. Coach, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your morning.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all very much. Have a good day.
All right, Coach. Take care. What an incredible experience this will be.
Absolutely.
What an incredible life that he's lived.
Yeah, just the Rasmus family. They got stories at the dinner table. Just the baseball stories. I would just love to be there as a guest. But yeah, I love Coach Rasmus and what he has done. And I remember him when he was the coach at Pacelli. And he's just a great guy, and he's got a great family.
I'd love to be at the dinner table with all the guys, dad and the brothers, man, just sitting around talking baseball. And that would be special.
Incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back with more on the Sports Visions Morning Show.
If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Hey, it's the Hubster at GASL Auto Sales, your #1 pre-owned dealer in Georgia and Alabama. We have over 400 vehicles to choose from, like new ones and hard to find ones. Back that up with a free 30-month, 30,000-mile warranty and great financing in 6 locations. And you got the one dealership that everybody in the Valley loves, GASL Auto Sales, celebrating 40 years. And you can always find the Hubster at GASL on Highway 80 in good old Phenix City, Alabama.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the GHSA and the Georgia Athletic Directors Association.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
The only live and local sports morning show. It's the Sports Visions Morning Show with Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer on Sports Visions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. It's a Flashback Friday, and wow, what an incredible interview, man. I mean, it's the fan in me came out, and I know it, and I didn't care. I can show it, but I mean, the bottom line is this. This is an incredible experience and a chance of a lifetime for these kids. And, of course, I want everybody to enjoy and to understand this experience because, Little League, All-Stars, that was an integral part of my life. I was not fortunate enough to go to the next level. Sure, I've won some city championships and some city tournaments, but to take it to the next level, to go and have an opportunity to compete, to go to the Little League World Little League All-Stars. I mean, that's incredible. And this Rasmus, Corey, a case rather, has been, it was a pleasure to interview him, not only about this Little League experience, but his family and that baseball royalty that they have brought to this community.
Yeah, and I remember last year seeing them on ESPN Plus, and Kenley Rasmus was the winning pitcher and had incredible strikeouts, and really it got national attention. Because she's a great player.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a girl. She is an absolutely great player, and I know that this team is experienced. They've been there before. He talked about the team that was young last year. I think this team can win it all. They could get to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, and what we're hoping in a perfect world that we have an all Georgia and Alabama Southeast Regional Final, because we're cheering for that American Little League team as well. They're taking on Florida at 1. We've got Alabama taking on North Carolina at 7. And I've seen the bracket. I kind of see like where it plays out. It's a double elimination tournament. Hopefully they're there for a long time, but Warner Robins is not that far away. It's about an hour and 20 minutes from where we are. So I think if you're just a fan of Little League baseball, you got to come out. And I'm excited because I'm going to have Matt Stewart on my podcast, and he is the play-by-play announcer for the Southeast Regional Tournament, and he gets excited about it too. I mean, I know that this is something I watch every year. Since 2021, I have followed the teams that have been in the Southeast Regional Tournament. We've had some good teams over the years.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't get up in arms because, again, the American League, I know that they're going to be down there playing as well. Richard is working on having their coach on as well.
No question.
It's not going to just be about Phenix City. Obviously, we both of those teams are in our areas. Those kids, we love them all, and they represent who we are. They represent the Chattahoochee Valley, the Bi-City area, and we definitely, if in fact available, and to be to just take it a step further, if in fact, Richard, you are having problems, or if you can't find a way to get a hold of the coach, please, by all means, definitely go on our chat right now and go ahead and inbox us and let us know who we can talk to.
Absolutely. I do want to shout out the American Little League 10 and under team, as they are going to be in North Carolina this week. One of the coaches, a very familiar face, Jonathan Bam Rivers, as his son Titus is on that 10 and under team for American Little League.
Good deal. Good deal. All right, man, I tell you, it was incredibly impressive to, again, have them on, and we continue, hopefully, to follow them. And, again, you're getting my interest up now as well because, again, Warden Robbins is just right down the road. And if we got two teams that will be playing, American and Phenix City, that makes you that much better to want to go down and support them.
Yeah, and I'm really thinking about making that trip too to see both teams. One starts at 1, one starts at 7. Like Coach Rasmus says, there's plenty of eating places. You can actually watch the middle game that starts at 4:30 if you want, and stick around and watch 3 baseball games. But the road to Williamsport starts next week, and we've got some talented teams from all over the Southeast that trying to punch their ticket to Williamsport.
Well, but all roads lead to, of course, the Muskogee County School District's building on Macon Road here.
Yes, sir.
And just a little bit more than an hour or so, we're going to have an opportunity to sit right there in the auditorium or the event room that they have over in the school district's headquarters, and have Muskogee County High School football Media Day. And of course, it'll not only be Media Day for the high school boys team, but the flag football girls team as well.
Yeah, and I think this is very important. I mean, coaches know, especially if we've interviewed them on the Sportsvisions Morning Show, they're familiar with this. But the fact that you're giving the players an opportunity to talk to the media, and it's good practice for them. If anytime you get a player, some of them, they've never talked to the media. It's their first time in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
But it's good practice. And I think that it is very important, especially I'm interested to see what players come to Media Day. But the 8 Muskogee County schools, all in different classifications. Remember the last couple of years, 7 of the 8 schools were all in the same region. That was fun.
Yeah.
But now we've got Columbus, Spencer, Hardaway, and Shaw all in one region. We've got Jordan, Kendrick, Carver all in one region. Jordan is actually playing a non-region schedule. Then we got Northside in 6A. And Harris County is no longer in their region. They're playing, I think the closest team in their region is in Noonan, but they're going to be playing a 6A schedule. I cannot wait. High school football is just around the corner. Week 1 is in about 3 weeks, and this is a way to kick off high school football with Media Days.
It's going to be really interesting to see how we're going to be coordinated today, because between Carver, Columbus, Hardaway, Kendrick, Jordan, Shaw, Northside, and Spencer, now that's both the football team and the flag football team, again, to make sure that everybody has the proper time and ample opportunity to talk about their teams, for you and us, the media, to be able to talk to the players. I know that it's going to have to be coordinated and timed out, and I'm sure that Kendall Mills, as he was last year, and then Jeff Battle has been in previous years, they were the mediators, and they basically told you where to turn left and turn right.
Yeah, and I remember when this was like a couple of years ago when I first was a part of Media Day. This will be my 4th Media Day, by the way, DJ. So I'm a seasoned veteran. I know what to expect. But he talked about just having 3 football stadiums. It was a full season of Otis Spencer Stadium. We had Kinnett, Memorial, Otis Spencer. The big question that I'm going to be perked up, my ears are going to be wondering when Coach Kendall Mills addresses the media, just the renovations of Kinnett Stadium, when it will be ready. And I know we are excited about that. And I know that Jeff Battles has been a part of that project as well. But we're once again going to have 3 football stadiums, which, avoids, Saturday afternoon games, but we still going to have a lot of Thursday night games. And now that these teams are in other regions, you're going to see the likes of Doherty and Monroe, teams from Albany and Crisp County coming to Columbus. And so it actually is going to open up that Albany market, that Macon market, to to see Columbus, and we've been blessed with having 7 of the 8 teams in the last couple of years, but now it's going to open up the door to have fans come to Columbus from those other markets.
Now, I know we had Coach Kendall Mills on, the citywide athletic director, several days ago, and if I'm not mistaken, he said that Connect Stadium is looking good and it's ready to roll. Now, again, you may mention, you said you were wondering where they were with the restorations, or at least the
type of restorations that they're going to have. I know that the press box area is not going to be changed, but the new turf, the bleachers on the visitor side, the concessions on the visitor side, the parking, there's just a lot of questions that are going through my mind, but I won't see it until I'm actually physically there at Cadet. I'm like, oh yeah, I recognize those changes.
Now you live in that direction.
Yeah,
I'm surprised with again your prowess. Yeah, normally you would just ride right in and see it, take a look for yourself, and don't wait on anybody to tell you.
That's on the way to the house. But a funny story: we were calling a Shaw baseball game. I actually park at Connect Stadium and walk to the Shaw baseball field because there's a little woodsy area, and got locked in.
Got locked in.
So
you were the only car in the park. You didn't park a car. Okay.
Yeah, we're the only car. The Shaw baseball game ended, and they locked the gate, and I had to call Kendall. It was actually it was a funny story. I know sometimes you got to laugh at stuff like that, but they were very exclusive about having the construction, and at the end of the day, they locked the fence because they don't want kids playing in that construction area at Connect. But that's a story that I definitely will tell to my grandkids because it was funny.
Good deal, Richard. Again, for the sake of everybody that's listening out there that want to watch and pay attention to what's going to be coming up at 10 o'clock, the football media days. Give us the information on when will it go on the air with Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Who will be a part of the broadcast team, and again, where they can find it.
Absolutely, DJ. Myself, Thrift Behringer, Chris Gates. We will be there 10 o'clock at the Muskogee County School District Conference Center, the boardroom where they have the Board of Education. 10 o'clock, you can catch it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live's Facebook page and YouTube channel. We might go live earlier than that. I think that's when the teams actually will take the podium. Thrift and I will probably get on and just have a preview. And we're going to have some great interviews, and I think it's going to be a great time where we are going to get to know these 8 Muskogee County teams and their coaches and players. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Shout out to Lori Skibby. Of course, she's a very, very integral part of the team over with the athletic department for the Muskogee County School District. She is the right-hand person for Kendall Mills as far as getting all the information and stuff that get out to the coaches and get out to the media. But shout out to her because obviously she has her hands full. But guess what? She's on it, doggone it.
Those media packets, so valuable, especially when I want to know like the returning starters. And we've got some great quarterbacks that are returning as well. I'm excited just to see the level of play, especially with the new reclassification, on how these teams are going to fare in their new regions.
Richard, what is going to be, I know we got the break here coming up, but what is going to be your first question out of the gate? Do you have that opportunity, or you just kind of, it depends on how the mood is when you get
Who is going to get the bulk of the carries at Carver at running back? They lost Jacoby Caslin, Kelston Popcorn Tarver, and Zach Watts. I want to know, are they going to have running back by committee? Who is going to be the running back that is going to get the most carries at Carver?
It shouldn't shock you if Coach Jones comes back and gives you 3 more names. And I'm sure that he will be, because again, that's what they do at Carver. Obviously, there's been some great players that come out of there, but they reload, man. And obviously, like I say, whether you're replacing a phenom, whether you're replacing, a number 1 draft choice or a top recruit, Carver has reloaded, and they have been doing that since the beginning of time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that Elijah Fudge is going to be back at quarterback for Spencer. Dalen Peterson is going to be the quarterback over at Shaw. I want to know who the quarterback's going to be at Northside. Columbus, we saw Bobby Peters Jr. take a lot of snaps in the 7-on-7, having to replace a guy like Andrew Smith, who had the majority of the offense as a dual threat quarterback for Columbus. That's going to be interesting. Who's going to be the quarterback at Hardaway? Kendrick losing a player like Lavasco Williams, who's going to step up and get the majority of the carries. And, of course, Jordan. I want to see how Jordan is going to play out, new coach Chad Martin, and that non-region schedule.
Absolutely. Again, really eager to find out the Coach Gardner over at Shaw. Again, what are they going to do and how they're going to do to get back in the position of, because Shaw used to be, a lot of people might not realize this, Shaw was a powerhouse.
Yes, they were.
They were one hell of a football program.
Shaw
And again, it's not impossible to think that they could get back there at some point.
You talk about Philip Wheeler, Bergeron, Damian Nighthawk Daniels, Jonathan Bam Rivers.
Look at you showing off like you know your history of the Shaw Raiders. Shaw,
Yeah, Coach Charles Flowers, he built a powerhouse in that early 2000s.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to have an opportunity to talk to a former University of Alabama player who's happened to be an author right now. He's written a book, The Walk-On Standards, and he is an incredible interview. Don't go anywhere. Stan Gay coming up next on the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Spins around, you recognize this sound, well it's the underground. You know that we're down with what you like. With what you like.
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Attorney advertised. Blake Swan, 4751 Best Road, College Park, Atlanta, Georgia. 921-200-7066. Paid actor dramatization. Top dog does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
What I tell you about that dog? What I tell you about that dog? I told you the dog was hungry. I told you the dog was hungry. Told you the dog would bite. What I tell you, the dog would bite. I told you the dog would chase you. I told you the dog would chase you. Top dog law. You see what the dog doing? Do you understand how he moving? Do you see the marketing that the dog is doing? Do you see him on TV? Did you hear him on the radio? Did you see the challenge? That dog is hungry. Do you know the extent that he's willing to go to let y'all know? If you get into an accident, that you know exactly who to call. If you ever get hurt and it wasn't your fault, you know what to do. Make the call. Call the dog. Top Dog Law.
I have a friend, about 50, had a bad accident and couldn't go back to work. If you're between the ages of 49 and 63 and can't go back to your job because of a physical or mental disability, Social Security could pay you as much as $3,800 a month. If you or a family member is unable to work because of a disability, call the Social Security Disability Helpline. Our team will give you a free case review and explain to you how much money you're entitled to. And you won't pay anything unless we get you benefits. See if you or a family member is entitled to close to $45,000 a year in Social Security disability funds. Remember, this is not something for people over the age of 65. If you're under 65 and can't work, call now.
800-413-7642. 800-413-7642. That's 800-413-7642.
Lori's Furniture Express, your express way to saving.
Wow, it's hard to believe it's that time of year again, back to college and time to get those dorm rooms and apartments ready. So let Gories help you out with their great selection of sleeper sofas, rugs, twin folding queen-size mattresses, and beds in stock, and you can get it to go. And that's only at Gories Furniture. You're going to love this place, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Celebrate America's 250th anniversary all month long at the grand opening sales event at the new Sons Chevrolet. Now open at 5730 Whittlesley Boulevard in Columbus. Enjoy 4th of July deals all month long, including 0% APR for 60 months on select models and big discounts across the lot. These limited time offers won't last long and inventory is moving fast. Don't miss your chance to save. Visit Sons Chevrolet today at 5730 Whittlesley Boulevard in Columbus. Together, let's drive.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. Catch the Paul Feinbaum Show 3 to 7 on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's three-time Georgia Bulldog SEC champion and 1980 national champion DJ Jones and Rick Behringer.
I toss and turn, I keep
It's a Flashback Friday on the Sports Visions Morning Show. Welcome back. I'm DJ Jones alongside Richard Holdridge. And, of course, big shout-out to Case Rasmus, the head coach of the Phenix City 12 and under All-Stars who are heading to Warner Robins to compete in the Little League World Series. Mike Frost, the play-by-play announcer with Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We appreciate him as we prepare for Muskogee County School District's Football Media Day today after this show at 10 o'clock. And also a big shout out to Buck Bellew, national championship coach, national championship quarterback for the University of Georgia and the hottest sports talk show host in the Atlanta area on the Buck Bellew Show. Hey, right now we have an author who is a guy who happens to be a frat brother of mine, and that's the Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated. He's a personal development strategist, speaker, and author who recently released his book, They Didn't See Me Coming, on June the 1st. He's also a former football walk-on under Coach Paul Bear Bryant at the University of Alabama and an SEC champion and a former Atlanta Falcon NFL player. Please help me welcome, once again, Stan Gay. How are you, sir? You're muted, Stan. For whatever reasons, we can't get this right. I tell you, man, we brought Stan on a few weeks ago, and we were having some issues. But hopefully, what we'll do, we'll just go ahead and call him up, or at least we'll wait and see if he reboots it, get us up, because we couldn't hear him. And again, we were set up to do it. Can we hear you now?
Yeah, I saw him unmute and mute himself.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just we'll wait for the break here in a little bit, and we'll call him back and get him on the phone and get him all situated. But Stan, if you can hear me, we will call you back. I hate this, and again, we had him on prior to the book coming out and being released, and we were having some issues. However, we unfortunately, we're gonna have to rethink what we got going with this particular broadcast. But looking forward to talking to him because he's had the book. Out now. It's been out since the 1st of June. And of course, he's had some incredible signing, book signings, in Alabama and in Georgia. And, really excited about it. He's gotten an opportunity to really get an understanding of what it's like too. This is his first book. So again, looking forward to talking to him about how it's been going.
Yeah, and I love that title too. They didn't see me coming.
Didn't see me coming, but he has a lot of strategies, a lot of life lessons, and some things that people, not just football players, have to go through. And again, he was still is a great businessman, and he was able to take that acumen from football and all the sacrifices and all the things he had to go through, and he was able to make that transition to into business. And again, looking forward to, of course, having that as well. Why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and take a break? We'll go ahead and get Stan on the phone, and we'll continue on the Sports Visions Morning Show.
You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Tiffany Maddox with a look at your morning's headlines. A judge has sentenced the father of school shooter Colt Gray to 15 years in prison. 55-year-old Colin Gray was convicted of charges that include second-degree murder, in part for giving his son Colt the gun that he used to kill 4 people in Appalachia High School in 2024. Earlier this week, Colt Gray was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Meanwhile, there's a program in the Russell County Jail that's designed to give inmates the tools and opportunity to stay out of trouble when they are released. About 20 inmates have participated in the Ignite program. The inmates participate in classes ranging from personal finances to the arts. Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor says the program is now expanding with help from Chattahoochee Valley Community College. New job training will be offered to inmates in the program. And with students returning to the classroom next week, the Muskogee County School District, along with other traffic safety organizations, joined for the annual Schools Open Drive Carefully event Thursday. The message is still the same as last year. Drive with caution and slow down, especially as children are getting on and off the school bus. For WRBL News 3, I'm Tiffany Maddox. Have a great weekend.
Good Friday morning. We are starting the day on a tad more comfortable note with temperatures in the upper 60s, but most of us in the 70s across the region. We have a few clouds around this morning, but this afternoon will turn hot with high temperatures in the mid 90s. Heat index values close to triple digits yet again. The good news, rain and storm chances return this weekend. Expect scattered showers and thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday. The added clouds and rainfall will help keep temperatures closer to 90 next week.
To get the full story, visit sportsvisions921.com and click on the WRBL tab. Sports Visions 92.1.
Celebrate America's 250th anniversary all month long at the grand opening sales event at the new Suns Chevrolet. Now open at 5730 Whittlesey Boulevard in Columbus. Enjoy 4th of July deals all month long, including 0% APR for 60 months on select models and big discounts across the lot. These limited time offers won't last long and inventory is moving fast. Don't miss your chance to save. Visit Suns Chevrolet today at 5730 Whittlesey Boulevard in Columbus. Together, let's drive.
Let me put the fun back in your car buying experience. Come check us out at Bratton Automotive. Won't cost you a thing. Come look around, shop. If we have what you want, great. If we don't, I can get it for you. One thing I can tell you, you're going to get greeted with a handshake and a smile. No pressure shopping. Come check us out. We're doing business the old-fashioned way at Bratton Automotive, where everybody leaves with a smile.
Let's have some straight talk. Are you sick of being trapped in a title pawn or just need a loan? Call 1-800-NEW-RATE. If you're in a title pawn trap, we can get you out. We save you thousands in interest. We lower your payments, possibly cut your payments in half, and you get up to $1,000 in extra cash. That's $1,000 extra cash. And your first payment's not due for up to 45 days. Call 1-800-NEW-RATE at 1-800-899-6669. It's fast, it's easy, and you can get approved right over the phone and get your check today. Do you need to pay off that high-interest title pawn loan? Then call right now to 1-800-899-6669. Call 1-800-NEW-RATE at 1-800-899-6669. Did I mention you can get up to $1,000 in extra cash? That's 1-800-NEW-RATE. Get approved right over the phone and get your check today. Call now to 1-800-899-6669. Motors Acceptance Corporation. Doing business as 1-800-NEW-RATE. Georgia Installment Lender License. NMLS number 1943997.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show. Get back to DJ and Thrift on Sports Visions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge in the building. We're broadcasting from the PNB studios in beautiful Midtown Columbus. Let's go back to the phone lines where Stan Gay is standing by. Stan, how you doing, man?
I'm good, DJ. Can you hear me, first of all?
I can. I'm just so disappointed that the last couple of times we've had to try to have you on, for whatever reason.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
But we're here now, guys.
We are here now. We are here. And again,
let's do it.
So again, they didn't see me coming. I know that you guys, you launched in June 1. You've had a couple of several, of course, book signings and whatnot. So give us the skinny on how everything is going.
Well, thanks for asking me that. I launched the book on June 1st with Amazon. Just for those out there that are listening, you can get the book now on Amazon. It's called They Didn't See Me Coming by Stan Gay, MBA. And the sales have been great, DJ. I mean, outstanding. As a matter of fact, I get my first check from the books, I think, in a couple of days.
All right.
I'm looking forward to that. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to. But you know what? The book signings have been great. I have a lot of people coming out. I'm surprised about the number of people that have bought the book that don't know me. Right? I know my friends are going to buy some. I know the people that I got a big fraternity. I got a big family. But the number of people that have actually bought the book and told me that they've got language now that they didn't have before.
Right.
That really makes me feel proud, man. They all, just about everyone has said, Stan, I felt these things before in my life, but I just didn't have the language. I didn't have the language to identify, and you have given us language to identify what we're going through. And that's one of the main reasons I wrote the book. I didn't write the book for me. I wrote it for the people and for us and people that I know that are going through things that they can't handle, the pressure, the identity issues, the loss of job. It was a great example last week with Ryan Clark. He lost his job.
Right.
And we was on the pivot, and he said, one of the things that he wanted to do was he just wanted to be, appreciated and validated by the people that he worked with. And what I tell people is that when you start to tie your identity to outside validation and approvals, that's when the problems come to you. Because now if those things are taken away from you, like what happened with Ryan, because it happened to me. That's why I wrote the book. I was that Ryan in corporate America. Right. After so many years, I'm sure you've been there too, DJ.
Oh yeah, still going through it. Still going through it. Yeah, because again, look, hey, this is the broadcasting business, and obviously, as a minority, hey, just last week down at SEC Media Days, but this is not about me. This is about you and your experience.
Yes. And so that experience that I went through years ago, I didn't have language for it then, but I just, I know there are a lot of people out there that's going through what I'm going through or what I went through. I want to put some language to that because it's not fair. I went through the fire. I walked through the fire. So those people, especially men that have gone through this type of situation, like Ryan Clark, can have something to pick up and say, you know what? I'm not alone out here. Somebody's already gone through this. Let me see what they did to make it better for them. And that's what I'm doing in this book. So when people buy the book, the main thing I want them to do, I know they're buying it for the football part of it, but there's a real framework in this book and a program that I want to teach and show people around the country that, if you are going through these type of situations, there's an actual program that you can tap into, which I call the walk-on standard. And the reason I call it the walk-on standard, DJ, is because, I was a walk-on at Alabama, and I had these standards in place even before I knew what they were.
Okay.
I mean, and I talk about that in the book. So the people that want to get the book, you'll get the real story as to why I call it the walk-on standard, because I really was a walk-on at Alabama, and I started 2 years.
Let's do this. Let's do this because, again, I mean, we're talking about the book. We're talking about going back and forth between your career.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do this for the folks that don't know you? Let's bring them up to speed as to, again, and I know you were here before, but that was way before you got this big check coming. But now that you got so talk about, obviously, the early beginnings, man, and those humble beginnings.
Okay, the humble beginnings. I'm from Tuskegee, Alabama, not far from where DJ grew up, and grew up in a family of 12. I was the 10th of 12 children. My mom kind of raised us by herself. And I say that because my father left my home when I was about 8 or 9 years old. And I had brothers in the family. They were older brothers, but they were 15 and 12 years older than me. So when they left to go to the Army, I was the man of the house. And I think that time frame taught me how to be a leader, how to be, take on responsibilities. And I think because of that, when I got ready to go to college, I took some of those standards with me. But I was a walk-on in Alabama. I did get recruited by a lot of HBCUs that wanted to offer me scholarships. One in particular, because I'm from Tuskegee, Hayward Sism sat on my porch with my mom and I and offered me a full scholarship and said, Stan, you're from Tuskegee. You're a great player. We want you to come play for us. You will probably start this year. But, I had to look him in his eye. That was a good man. So I had to look him in his eye and say, Coach, you know what? I think I'm going to take my chances and go to Alabama and walk on and see what I could do. So I was willing to take that chance. And what I try to tell young people, don't be afraid to bet on yourself. Take the chance, but you got to prepare and you got to prepare and you got to prepare to compete with real athletes. Because when I got to Alabama, man, I had never seen athletes like that in my life coming from Tuskegee, where we only won 5 games a year. We were a homecoming team, just to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So for me to go to Alabama, coming from a homecoming team in high school, was a big step. And I didn't want to disappoint my mom because she sat there and saw this man offer me scholarships, and other schools, HBCUs, maybe 6 or 7, offered me scholarships, and she really couldn't afford for me to go to Alabama. But I'm like, I can't disappoint my mom. That was my motivation, really, to go there. It's like, and try not to disappoint her. And when I got there, I talk about it in the book, so I won't go into a lot of details in it, but I got there, did my thing, showed out, had a knee injury in my freshman year, didn't see a lot of playing time in 79. So I didn't play a lot, didn't play any, didn't even dress out in 79 because of my knee injury. But I had done just enough in those 2 weeks of freshman play in ball that they saw something in me, right? And they said, you know what, Stan, after you come back from this injury and this surgery and you kept coming back to practice, you didn't quit while all of these other walk-ons were quitting, and they knew something was there. But I was paying my way for 2 years. So my mama called me one day and said, Stan, I just don't know how long I can keep paying for you to be in college. I just don't know. And that gave me the courage to go to Coach Bryant's office and say, you know what, Coach, I really do need a scholarship. What do I need to do to earn a scholarship? And he said to me, just keep doing what you're doing. And that's all he said to me when I went to his office. Open the door, walked me out, and closed it behind me. And I didn't know. I'm thinking, oh shit, I messed up, and I don't think I'm going to get that scholarship. I think they're going to kick me off the team for going and talk to Coach Bryant. A couple of days later, I went out to practice, and my coach, position coach, Lewis Campbell, made me stay behind. He said, Stan, I just want you to know that Coach Bryant and the staff think you're doing the right things, and as of tomorrow, you'll be on full scholarship. That's how I got to the scholarship part of it, and I talk about that because, I want people to know that, you can bet on yourself. If you're going to bet on yourself, make sure you do the work. You just can't bet on yourself and don't do the work, right? You got to be prepared to compete, and you got to be prepared to compete in the right way.
They Didn't See Me Coming. I absolutely love that title of the book. There's probably a lot of people out there listening that want to be authors. It takes a lot of work. You got to have a publisher, got to have a editor. And one thing, when you get thoughts in your mind, do you put them to pencil to paper? Do you have like a Word document on your computer and you just type away? What's that long process of writing a book? I know that there are some authors out there, it takes years of gathering their thoughts to try to get a book together. But just go through the process of getting a book published.
Okay, that's a good question. No one has asked me that question yet, but that's a really good question because I had this opportunity to write a book years ago. When I first got out of college and started playing with the Falcons, when I finished playing with the Falcons, I had a ghostwriter that wanted to write my story. And I'm like, my story? I just got out of college. I just finished playing football. I'm like, I don't have a story yet, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking, let me live life first, and then I'll write the story. And just so happened, I kind of left corporate America when I was like 51, 52. And I said, it's time for me to write this book. I've got enough experience. But I started just taking notes. I'm a typer, so I can take notes on my computer. I'm not a freehander. I don't write. My handwriting is horrible. And so I just started keeping notes places, right? Writing something here, writing something there. And it just so happened that when I started to do that, I looked around. I had like 400 pages, of just notes. And I'm like, wow, this is a lot of stuff I've written. But how do I put it all together? I didn't know how to put it all together. And then AI came out. I was like, wow, AI. So I threw a lot of it into AI. And they were like, this is great stuff. You got great material, just polish it. And so they polished it for me. Then I had to go pay a editor $4,000 just to edit it, line item.
Wow.
Editing. And I'm a good writer now. I'm not one of those people that can't write. I can write. But if you're going to write a book, you really do have to have a human eye that looks at your stuff and say, this is by line item and edit it for you grammatically and all that. So that was the part that I had. But I enjoyed doing it because I tell people I probably revised this book 125 times before I released it, right?
Right.
And just because I didn't think this should be here, I missed something, I forgot about that, I needed this, I forgot about that. So it took me probably a year and 6 months to write it.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, and I'm sure that you've had an opportunity to address this on the different shows and the different appearances that you've made with regards to, being a football player. You don't have to be a football player to go through some of these situations in life. But again, as you are teaching and as you're explaining to people, the parents ought to be, they ought to be in tune to realizing that, hey, look, playing football and playing team sports obviously gives your kid an opportunity to go through these challenges and to help to develop them.
Absolutely. The obvious one for us is because it's sports, because DJ and I, we play sports. So yeah, you're right. The athletes are one of the first people that I kind of target to talk to about this. But then again, I'm also targeting corporate people because I was a salesperson and salespeople go through this. I target education because students go through this. I target families because mothers go through this. Fathers go through it. Everybody goes through pressure. The pressure is something that everybody goes through, and a lot of people think that pressure is what changes a person, and I don't believe that. I believe that pressure only identifies what's been already made from a standpoint of your standards, right? So if you get pressure on you and you don't have any standards, right, you can go into what I call internal drift. And when you go into internal drift, it changes everything because now you're messing up your internal system in a way that if you don't catch it quick enough, it can spiral out of control.
Right.
A lot of people do that in their life, right? They spiral out of control, but it's because they're going through this internal drift within themselves. They can't figure out why they feel the way they feel. And I keep going back to the Ryan Clark incident because that's a real life incident that you can see.
Right.
Ryan Clark is on the doorstep of going through internal drift, right? Because he's starting to questioning his value because he's expecting other people to validate his value. And I tell people, you don't have other people validating your values. You shouldn't, right? If you do that, then what happens when that value, that person's opinion of you is taken away, right?
Yeah.
And you look at two different people. You look at Ryan Clark and you look at Cam Newton, how they handle that situation.
Right.
And I would tell you, Cam Newton probably has a better idea of who he is as a person. than Ryan Clark. And Ryan Clark's our threat, brother. You know that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I say that because people can go look at that situation now and understand, oh, that's what Stan means by internal drift and emotional durability. So emotional durability is a trained ability to remain calm, composed, and aligned under pressure. So your decision reflects your character and not your circumstances, right?
Right.
So think about what Ryan's going through. He's making decisions based on what he's going through, his circumstance. I'm like, dude, everybody loses a job.
Right.
Where's your character? Where's your character? Is your character straight? And I have people identified and teach them how to see that.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask this question, Richard, while it's on my mind, and fresh off of you talking about Ryan Clark. Here's a guy, he wasn't a bonus baby. He wasn't a first-round draft choice. Matter of fact, he was an undrafted free agent from what I understand.
He was a free agent.
So
he was a free agent.
It's in him. He just didn't realize. I don't know how he could get it twisted. But, again, I guess after 14 years of playing successful football at a high level and earning a lot of money, and he got lost again. He forgot about his past of how hard it was for him to get there, how he went undrafted. This is blaming on that.
Yeah, well, you could blame it on that, but more than likely, this is what happened, because I can see how it happened to somebody like that. You had a standard that made you or got you to the point where you could stay in the pros.
Okay.
Whatever you were doing right, you were doing that. You understand? You had a standard then. But when you get what most people do is they get to a position where they get comfortable, right? And then they start to get validation from other people. They start telling you how good you are, and then you kind of relax. You don't do the things that you've always done to be that got you there, right?
Right.
And so I'm not saying that's what happened to him, but it sounds like to me at some point in his decision making, he started making decisions that he thought was better than what he should have been doing that got him there. And that's what happens with internal drift. It sneaks up on you. It's not loud. It whispers to you, right? You're not good enough, or you're good enough, and you start to believe that, and you don't do the little things like Coach Saban always say, the process, right?
Right.
Be where your feet are. Be where your feet are, and the process. Remember the process. And the only way I can explain it to you is that when I got to Alabama, I didn't wait for permission to be good. I didn't wait for permission to say, I think I can play here.
Right.
You can't wait for people to get to, because as a walk-on, and this is why my walk-on standard is so important to me, is because as a walk-on, you never get that. So if you wait around for validation, you'll never get it, and you will never produce, because all you're looking for is somebody to say, "Oh, you're good." Well, I don't want you to tell me I'm good. I know I'm good. I just need to play.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And if you put all your eggs in one basket and expect people to validate you and approve you all the time, then you're setting yourself up for failure, because as soon as those people take that validation away from you, that's when you have an opportunity to be like, oh my God, what do I do? Who am I now? And a lot of football players and basketball players, after they play, they don't have an identity, because their identity is so closely tied to their sports. And I want to teach people, look, build your identity before you even go to sports. My identity was built before I went to Alabama.
Right.
And I talk about this in my book, and I didn't understand that until I started writing the book, that my identity was already formed from my mom, from my sister, from the things that I did in the house of 12 people, from my coaches at college. I had no idea how well my identity was formed until I started writing this book.
Yes, Dan, that's a great point. And for somebody that's been in the military, just got out 8 months ago, I know that I deal with a lot of veterans that are trying to find that identity after the military, because there are people that came in at age 17. That is all they know is military.
Yeah.
They've never worked at another job. All they know is military. And so trying to find your identity, how tough it can be, and not just in the sports world, but also in the corporate world as well. How important is it to have that support system, the people that you network with, especially when you're still in the military, just trying to network with them so when you get out, you have connections, and really just finding your identity, because the military is very interesting, how we have all different leaders from all different walks of life. So I get like completely different opposite things. I'm doing a great job. I'm doing a terrible job. And I later find out, the leader that said I was doing a terrible job only did that because he was preparing us for combat and he was trying to motivate us. But I like to see consistency across the board when I have superiors that actually critique me.
Yeah. That's a good question. I was a military guy too. I don't know if I talk about it in the book. I was an officer in the military. I got commissioned out of college, so I do have that military background. What I would tell people in those situations is this: you do have to network if you're trying to find a job. But I was just at my mother's 99th birthday party in Austin with my family. We have a huge family. I got a lot of nieces and nephews, and I'm the oldest male in my family now. And I got up to speak, and one of the things I told them is that, you know what your mother gave you, what your grandmother gave you, and what she gave me was the ability to develop the character. She taught me about character, like how important character was for you, right? So if those people, I would tell them, don't worry about, do your job to the best of your ability, but while you're doing your job, build your character.
Absolutely.
You want your character to be the first thing they see and the last thing they see when you leave a room. And if you don't feel like you're doing that, more than likely you're not getting talked about in a good way, right? So I told my nieces and nephews, I actually demonstrated this to them. I said, one day you could be high, the next day you could be low. You could have a lot of money one day, your life could be, but you know what doesn't change in that scenario is your character. So don't matter when you have a lot of money or you got a big car. It's not about the cars and the home. It's about your character. Your character should be your strategy for life, right? Building your character, because that's the thing that people are going to remember about you more than anything. Your character will outlast your circumstances. I think people panic when they get in certain circumstances and like, oh, now that I lost my job, I got to be a different person now.
Right.
I got to be mean. No, I've lost jobs before. And one of the best compliments I got from one of my frat brothers, DJ, when he read the book, he said, Stan, I read your book. I had no idea that you went through all this. And I've been knowing you for years. I said, that's exactly right.
Right. Stan Gay is our guest this morning on the Sports Visions Morning Show. And Stan is a former defensive back standout from the University of Alabama Crimson Tide. Of course, he's a new author. And Stan, I tell you what, I did see some of the pictures of your wonderful mother's celebration, man. That was just beautiful. I really, yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable. And but again, on your journey, I can understand. And something that would make hit me just a few minutes ago when you made mention that you were the homecoming team. The high school team that you played for wasn't that good. Well, I was very, very I'm familiar with that because during my high school career, we didn't win 10 ball games in my 4 years at George Washington Carver High School here in Columbus, Georgia. However, that didn't define me. When I came out of a youth program, that was, it was iconic. We had won a national title with the Edgewood Red Devils, and I played that prior to high school. And so going through the lumps and bumps and having great parents around you, people don't realize how important that is, because that sport doesn't define you. Those fundamentals that you mentioned, the development of that character as you're growing up, your parents, making sure that you have chores, making sure you know right from wrong, giving you the understanding and somewhat of a playbook to life before you go off into the world. And then guess what? After you being this highly recruited, top level elite athlete, going and having to be on the scout team, you talk about being a walk-on, so you understand what scout team means. And that means that you run the plays of the opposing teams, that you're going to be playing, and you are the dummies basically for the varsity football team. So I didn't let that define me being on the scout team. And so again, learning early on, I wanted to go out and do the doggone thing every time. I didn't care, every play, every drill. You was not going to define me by putting me on the scout team. And again, that went all the way back to not only my parents but my coaches and the people that poured into you. So again, that a lot of people, and for this book, I'm sure that those people that don't have that home training or don't have that coaching, this book is a blueprint to some of that.
Absolutely. I actually wrote it for that reason. I said to myself, I've got probably, it's 199 people in my family, right?
Right.
And there's six generations, just so you know. My mom was the only child. My father was the only child. So we got 6 generations in our family living.
Okay.
But I had a lot of nieces and nephews, I wanted to write something for them from a legacy standpoint to say, this is the blueprint for you once you grow up, because you're going to go through some of these things. Now, the question is, how are you going to handle those things when they enter your life? And if you take a look at what I put in this book, that's why I put the emotional durability framework is like on the 10th page of my book, right? Because I want people to realize this is not a highlight reel book. This is not a book about me. I give that up to you in the first couple of chapters. But most of this book is talking about how you deal with disappointment? How do you deal with loss? How do you deal with when your identity is shifting? How do you deal with people not validating you or respecting you or giving you the approval? How do you deal with that? Because so many people don't know how to deal with that. And it's because they get so caught up in their life with the money, the homes, the cars. And so I keep going back to Ryan. That's a great example. Now I know Ryan's going to be okay.
Right.
He's got money on the other end.
Right.
But think about the people who don't have that money on the other end.
Yes.
That goes through that, right?
Right.
That's the person I'm looking at. That's the person I want reading this book. That's the person I want calling me to say, come speak at my place. Come and do a workshop. Let's get these young people on the same page as to what they need to do, because I lived this life and I did a good job at it. I'm not patting myself on the back, but I went through it. I navigated it. I came through it, and I'm very happy about that. Now I just want to teach other people how to do it.
Yeah, Stan, I had the privilege right after I got out of the military to be a part of a veterans retreat where I learned a lot from it. They taught us to find your purpose, don't chase money, hold on to the things that matter. And it's very important when you're trying to find an identity, especially if you're making a transition in life, to stay resilient and making sure that you're able to handle any situation that gets thrown at you, whether it's a pressure situation or being able to handle anything that where you can have a response, because the last thing we want is a meltdown. I think a meltdown can be devastating, especially if somebody's in the public eye. Talk about how you're able to handle just life changes and what are some of the priorities that matter the most to people.
Gotcha. That's a great question. And here's what I do to handle those type of situations when it occurs in my life, when pressure comes or something comes that it takes me off of alignment in terms of what I want to do with my life. That's why I put the emotional durability. This is the engine that drives my framework is emotional durability. And that's just 5 principles to that thing. This first one is, you need to identify internal drift early. If you don't identify internal drift early, it could actually wreak havoc in your life. And you need to understand what that is. Once you understand that you're heading toward drifting from where you're supposed to be, from your purpose, your job, your relationship, your studies, once you find out that I'm starting to drift, then the next thing you need to do is you need to regulate the pressure. Because a lot of times what comes with internal drift is pressure from people. You got to be better. You're a sports person. You need to play better in the games. You got people behind you trying to get in the game. There's a lot of pressure on people. In school, you got to make grades because your parents want you to make grades. In relationships, you got pressure with your wife and your husband. That stuff is real. So what you need to do is learn how to regulate pressure. And a lot of that has to do with physiology, that you need to, be able to breathe, get good posture, have a better perspective on what you're going through, and have a good pace in what you're doing. And then once you do that, you've got to clarify your reality, because a lot of people don't know how to clarify their reality and where they actually are in their progress. So you need to be able to clarify your reality. And then after you do that, you need to decide with your character. That's one of the big ones. Once you get everything that you say, you know what, I know I'm here, I know I'm drifting, I regulate my pressure, I've clarified my reality, I don't have the money I used to, I need to do this, I need to do that. Now you need to make a good decision. And that's where people mess up, because you need to make a decision based on your character and not your circumstances, right? So I'll let you guys think about what that means, but it's in the book. I write more about it in the book. And once you do that, I think you need to lead forward. When I say lead forward, that means once you make your decision based on good information, you don't keep looking back over your shoulder and not moving and get stuck again, paralysis through analysis, because that's a form of internal drift as well. So if you understand that framework and that process, I walk everything that I go through that process, and I guarantee you, when I go through it, I come out on the right side every time.
He is Stan Gay. He's a former University of Alabama defensive back standout. He's a former business executive, successful at that, may I say. He's also an author with a book he just released, They Didn't See Me Coming. Stan, before you get out of here, I know that there's a lot of folks out there that have been listening here this morning that now have been reeled in, and they want an opportunity to read this book, and they might even want to have you come in and speak. I know that we have several corporations here in town that obviously they bring in speakers here and here and there. But go ahead and give them that contact information on how to get the book and how to get in touch with you if they want to book you.
Okay, good. The book is on Amazon right now. I plan to have it in Barnes & Noble soon, but right now you can get it on Amazon. If you're an Amazon person, you can go buy it. It's shipped to you in a couple of days. And you can reach me at stan.gayauthor@gmail.com. stan.gayauthor@gmail.com. And I'll give you another email as well. It's slgay2829. Those are my football numbers. 2829@gmail.com. And I do have a website that's all on my, you can also reach me through my social medias if you want to. I'm on LinkedIn and I'm also on Facebook. Those are public. I'm also on Instagram, but that's a private. If you send me a message, I can bring you into my IG. But Stan Gay on Facebook is one you can really go to and get a lot of information from. And my LinkedIn page. So if you want to know more about my professional background, you can go there and look at that as well. And then you can call me at, let me give you my number.
Okay.
It's 470-263-3391. Again, 470-263-3391. Stan Gay.
And Stan, finally, before you go, obviously for the CEOs and the leaders that are looking for a leader or speakers to come in to help motivate, their teams, their companies, their corporations, I'll give you 35, 45 seconds to do your elevator speech.
Well, my elevator speech is this. I'm not a motivator. This is not about motivation. I respect the people that do the motivation stuff, right? And I've been in plenty of motivational seminars as a salesperson myself. And I can tell you this, motivation lasts till next Tuesday. What this is, motivation, and I don't knock that because it has a place for people, right? But, I'm not a religious person. I'm not going to say that for Jeremiah, the religious part. There are a lot of people who says, if I'm going to get out of any situation, I'm going to God first. And I believe that because I go to God as well. But this is a mirror. When I come in and speak to people, my goal is to get you to understand you're not alone in what you're going through. And here's a process you have to get out of it. And this is a way you can get out of it, but you can also live your life by this because it's been proven. It's a system that I know that works because I've used it myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my friend, my Kappa Alpha Psi frat brother, Stan Gay. Stan, thank you so much and have a great rest of your morning.
Thank you, man. Good talking with you guys.
All right.
Thanks, Stan.
Good deal. Boy, I tell you, man, and it's a lot of wonderful things in that book, and his life is a mirror of that. And again, just happy to have Stan on to explain it. And he told you how to get it, Amazon. He gave you the other information. But we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and take our final break of the day and let you know that you are watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning, right here on Sports Visions 92.1.
Lori's Furniture Express, your express way to saving.
Wow, it's hard to believe it's that time of year again, back to college and time to get those dorm rooms and apartments ready. So let Gories help you out with their great selection of sleeper sofas, rugs, twin folding queen-size mattresses, and beds in stock, and you can get it to go. And that's only at Gories Furniture. You're going to love this place, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Yes, JCPenney has thousands of back-to-school items under $10. And when you join JCPenney Rewards Access today, you can get a $10 cash pass too. Learn more at jcp.com/rewards. Yes, JCPenney. Exclusions apply.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Veterans, do you have a copy of your DD-214? A DD-214 is a DoD certificate of retirement, separation, or discharge from active duty. It verifies your eligibility for benefits and services. The fastest way to request a copy is through the National Archives and Records Administration at archives.gov. Get the benefits you've earned.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Serving in Afghanistan, I was shot in the head by sniper fire. I was given a 5% chance to live. I'm Adam Alexander, and I'm a veteran. Today, I visit classrooms and share my story. I tell kids that with a little help and a lot of work, that you can overcome any challenge.
DAV helps veterans like Adam get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is being there for the next generation.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
This message is brought to you by TogetherWeServed.com, a leading online community of over 2.3 million veterans. TogetherWeServed.com provides all veterans an easy way to stay connected, share in the camaraderie of other veterans, and remember their service. Using its search engine, veterans can find people they served with and get in touch. If you served, visit TogetherWeServed.com.
Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's Denver Broncos 1987 AFC champion DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to Flashback Friday. It's been an incredible week. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge. Richard, I tell you, man, again, today it's been an exceptional day when you talk about having the opportunity to bring on Buck Bellew from 680 The Fan in Atlanta. You talk about Mike Frost from Georgia Alabama Sports Live and Case Rasmus, the Phenix City All-Star coach 12 and under that are headed to the Baseball World Series, Little League World Series, and then, of course, capping it off with Stan Gay and, of course, his book and his tremendous story. Again, They Didn't See Me Coming. I think it's been a successful week.
Yeah, a great week as it is. A great lineup today as we get you ready for the weekend, and not just Muskogee County Media Days. We also have the 100-year anniversary of Synovus Park tomorrow at Synovus Park. A 6:05 first pitch. The Cleanstones taking on the Rocket City Trash Pandas, and Georgia Alabama Sports Live will be there doing a live hit, and I am excited to celebrate this incredible ballpark with so much history.
Absolutely. And again, with regards to Thrift, he finished the show with us yesterday, and, we were talking about the hit, and I made a mention of the great players that have played in that park over the last 100 years. Hank Aaron, just to name a name, I mean, there's been dozens and dozens, as I mentioned yesterday, that have played there, but to know that, the all-time home run leader, Hank Aaron, the great one, played there, had an experience at Golden Park back in the day. I tell you, it was worth him doing. And I said to Thrift, I said, whatever you do, if you guys are going to do a hit from down there or a segment or a show, whatever you're going to do, if you can find it in your heart and if you have enough time, please, you got to go in front of that wall that has all of the pictures of all the great players that have been through here over the 100 years, because these are just some of these are the greatest names in baseball, period.
Yeah, and by the way, yesterday was the 30th anniversary of the United States beating China in the gold medal game for USA softball, as people don't realize that before South Commons, they were playing softball at Golden Park, seeing videos of that, a packed-out crowd. They had fans in the outfield. Lisa Fernandez was the winning pitcher, and that was a great moment in Columbus sports history, and I wanted to throw that out there because that actually showed up on my timeline. It was the 30th anniversary yesterday.
Good deal. Big shout-out to Bobby Brown and Ricky Rogers for listening this morning. Of course, Stanley Crowell, he was here as well, and again, these guys are on the front row of the Sports Visions morning show. We really appreciate you guys. You guys helped Richard and I get our day started, and I know that that's our mantra. We are happy to help you get your day started, but again, everybody has to have a motivator, and somebody, again, I don't care if it's Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker, Tom Brady, any of the great ones, Hank Aaron, somebody is responsible for motivating those guys each and every day to get up and to be the best that they can be. And of course, that's what I'm talking about when I say help you get your day started. No, we're not for everybody. And again, we understand that. But for those who do enjoy and those who are inspired, hey, we love you and we appreciate you.
Yeah, Rodney, Bobby, Ricky, Gerald. And now I got to go recruit a guy named Ralph and a guy named Johnny. I know a Johnny, Coach Jonathan Gordon from Calvary. Come on, listen to us so you can be part of the front row.
You think he's not listening?
I got a Johnny.
Absolutely.
I need a Ralph.
Right.
I got to find a guy named Ralph so we can get all the new edition members.
Absolutely. Richard, again, I want you to, of course, go ahead and put it out there. Obviously, whatever's on the schedule for Georgia Alabama Live. I know that there's some softball games or something that's going on prior to the football season or in conjunction with the football season that you're excited about being a part of.
Yes, we do. Starting next week, school is back in session. Can you believe that?
I do.
Tuesday at The Rock, we got LaGrange Northside softball. And then on Thursday, we've got Columbus and Pacelli volleyball. In fact, they're going to be in a tri-match with Noonan. Calvary, the defending GIAA champions, they are taking on the Hardaway Lady Hawks. Shaw is taking on Marion County in softball. And then we do have some media days next week. We've got Smith Station Media Day, Glenwood, Russell County, Calvary. So we want to try to get all those media days while it's a kind of a slow week. We do have a couple of games, but, man, the next couple of weeks, we're going to hit the ground running. Once football starts, we're going to have games every day. Volleyball, softball, flag football. And this is what we do at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We just continue to grind because we love providing that local coverage to your student athletes here in the Chattahoochee Valley.
Also, we can't forget kickoff with the calls, or kickoff for a calls,
Yes,
and that'll be
sir.
August the 27th. And of
Can't
course,
wait.
that will be definitely at the Cunningham Center on the beautiful campus of Columbus State University. Richard Holdridge, Thrift Behringer, myself, Dave Plata, of course, in the Georgia Alabama Sports Live production crew will be there to, of course, stream live on the Sportsvisions Facebook page, as well as the Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and, of course, on the Twin Cedars Facebook page.
Yeah, plenty of time to go ahead and sign up and get a ticket, as the food itself would pay for the ticket. But you got the silent auction, you've got the mascots, the cheerleaders that really get you into that mood getting ready for high school, for college football season, because that weekend we got week 1 in college football. But yeah, we'll have some high school football games later on going on at the same time as well. But Georgia Alabama Sports Live will be there. And I can't wait. I got to be a part of it last year. The food was outstanding. That silent auction, we got some pretty cool items. And Kim Rozicki and her staff over at Twin Cedars, they do a great thing to help the Mary Shepherd Home. It's a great cause. So if you haven't registered already, go out and get your ticket and be a part of this at the Cunningham
That's
Center.
the Ann Elizabeth Shepherd Home.
Ann Elizabeth Shepherd?
Absolutely.
Man, I'm sorry. I butchered that. I apologize,
No,
Kim.
you okay? Yeah, man. I mean, the thought was there. And then, of course, I'm sure that they forgive you. But, yeah, you mentioned the name, Kim Rozicki. She is the head ball coach in charge of this operation. And we've been at it now going on our 5th year, and this has been incredible. And we've raised a tremendous amount of money for the Ann Elizabeth Shepherd Home. That's a home for wayward young girls.
Yeah.
And Twin Cedars, and they have put together a really, really nice event. And what a way to kick off the football season. You made mention of the food and the ticket. And tell you what, the ticket is worth its price of admission.
Absolutely.
All the brisket you can eat, and, of course, the tacos and
sliders,
all the cold beverages, whether you are non-alcoholic or whether it's beer, they'll be there. And, again, you know what? You will be able to, of course, have an opportunity to meet the movers and shakers in the community, to cheer on your favorite team. If your favorite team is not represented, you can represent your favorite team by being there and witnessing this iconic event.
Yeah, no question about it. DJ Cashflow does a great job setting the mood.
Yes.
He even does requests.
Absolutely.
So I just want to throw that out there.
You know what? That's the good sign of to me, that's a great sign of a DJ, when you're not so into yourself and your ego is not so big that you can welcome requests. Because, again, some people, might want something a little different, and they might want to hear something that you're not playing. And then, I know sometimes you think you're the hottest thing since sliced bread. But that's how I tell and I've had an opportunity to hire a lot of wonderful DJs in and around the city. And, of course, DJ Cashflow, they don't get any better than that, because not only is he a top-notch guy with a hell of a playlist, But again, he takes requests.
Yeah, and I know one thing for sure: when they introduce those colleges, if he knows the fight song, he's going to play the fight song for them when they come out. Does a great job, not only DJing this event, but the Sportsvisions Awards Luncheon. He does a great job doing that as well. And of course, 706 Day he was a part of and put it on about a month ago. But yeah, it's going to be a great event at the Cunningham Center, August the 27th, and I cannot wait.
Absolutely. Richard, in a few minutes, man, we'll be hightailing down the street about 1.5 miles on the right side of the road. There you go. Right down the street here, Winton Road, down to the Muskogee County School District's main building there. That's where all the big shots and, the high rollers with regards to Muskogee County School District, that's where their offices are. And, of course, right downstairs on the first floor will be the room that we'll have our media day in. And, again, I know that all of the coaches are getting their players, in preparation of transporting them over there so that they can get started at 10 o'clock because, again, we're going to get it and hit it and quit it. We got to get in and out. And, of course, we got both the flag football team and the high school football teams that are going to be there. 8 teams represented, and that includes Carver, Columbus, Hardaway, Kendrick, Jordan, Shaw, Northside, and Spencer.
Cannot wait. An hour from now, you'll get to catch it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, or if you want to just come on out and just support your local team. The ADs are going to be there, and they're going to be taking the podium. I'm looking forward to hearing from all the football coaches and the flag football coaches as the Muskogee County School District does a great job putting this on.
Looking forward to seeing those guys in their jerseys. A lot of them, the coaches come over, and obviously they have on their coaching shirts. And there are 2 or 3 players, however many players they bring, they usually are represented by wearing their school jerseys. And, man, I tell you, when you get there and you see the nice mix of camouflage, all the different jerseys and all the different – and now with adding the flag football teams, all the young ladies that'll be intertwined in that, it's going to be a beautiful sight.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And I cannot wait for high school football season as we got one more week of really a weekend of summer because scrimmages don't start until next week. They got 2 weeks of scrimmages, and the season starts August the 21st.
The pools haven't closed yet, so you know what? You can go ahead and go out to your parks and pools and your park and your recreation areas, man, and all those last-minute beach trips, man. I guess they're going to be coming to a close unless do the private schools get started later than the public schools?
I do believe they do get started like a week later.
A week later?
I'll have to check and see the school schedule. Since my kids are homeschooled now, we're on a different school schedule.
I got you. Troup County had their media day. How did that go?
It went well. Kevin Eckelberry did a great job putting it on. I actually watched it and saw LaGrange and Troup County no longer in the same region. LaGrange now in 5A. Harris County is now their region rival. They bringing back that rivalry with Noonan. They opened the season against Noonan. Of course, Coach Pete Wiggins over there at Callaway, Coach Tanner Glisson at Troup County. All 3 teams, Matt Napier over at LaGrange, all competing for a state championship.
East Alabama got theirs out of the way.
They
of course,
did.
Central and Auburn and Opelika.
Yeah, we saw them, Opelika, Lynette, Valley, Glenwood.
Yep.
I mean, Central, Russell County, we're ready to go. It's high school football season. But we got to get out of here, DJ. We got to go over to...
I don't hear the music. I go until you put the music in. So crank it on up so I can hear it, man. Obviously, you hear the music now. You know what that means. That's right. Friday's show is in the book. Matter of fact, the whole week is in the book.
It's in the books.
Matter of fact, July is in the books, and we'll be off to August 1st, of course, tomorrow. Hey, listen. Don't go anywhere. Hey, we're going to come back on Monday. You'll be in the studio. Let's go.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need